la luce che tu dai.
I pray we'll find your light
Nel cuore resterà
and hold it in our heart.
A ricordarci che
When stars go out each night,
l'eterna stella sei. Nella mia preghiera
let this be our prayer.
quanta fede c'è.
When shadows fill our bed,
Lead us to a place,
guide us with your grace.
give us faith so we'll be saved. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e di speranza. Ognuno dia simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La forza che ci dai,
That life be kind
desiderio che
and watch us from above.
ognuno trovi amore
We hope it's so we'll find
por noi dentro sé.
another soul to love.
Let this be our prayer,
Let this be your prayer.
just like every child.
Just like every child
Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. Nella fede che hai acceso in noi. Sento che ci salverà.
Okay, let's all stand for our national anthem, Lupang Hiniran.
Bayang magiliw, pelas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, upo na tayo lahat. Relax. And all attentions now ready for KamOSHtahan ng Rehiyon 13. Okay, let's hear the opening remarks from our OSH head office. no other than our energetic and itinerary accomplisher, our Executive Director, Engineer Noel C. Dinan. Good afternoon, Eddie. Eddie?
Narinig mo na ako?
Opo.
Maria? Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Ganun, Eddie.
Christian, magandang hapon. Andiyan ba si Kwan, si Ma'am Chona?
Andito, Eddie. Andito,
Ay.
mag-message rin siya.
Okay.
Ay,
Director Chona, good afternoon. Nice to see you again, ma'am.
yeah, just came from SOM po. See you official.
Hindi ako naka-attend.
Oh,
It's advanced celebration. Advanced celebration ni Apo Secretary natin. So just would like to greet everyone, especially our Regional Director from Dole Region 13 for always very supportive in our advocacy on promoting OSH. Sa ating mga Regional Extension Unit Officers headed by Sir Christian for, again, spearheading this webinar type in order to help our workers know more or learn more about construction, OSH, about OSH on construction business. So sa ating pong lahat, what we will do is we would like to provide you with information on OSH legislations and implementing guidelines of the Safety Seal certification program and best practices in the construction industry. We know for a fact that the construction industry is considered high risk because of the numerous exposure to all kinds of occupational safety and health hazards. Katakot-takot po ng mga hazards andyan. Some are obvious, but most of the time, they are not obvious. The hazards are there, but we're not even aware of it. And it is for this reason now that we are equipping you or we are helping you, to identify hazards that are obvious. Example like chemical hazard, exposure to chemical vapors, dust, ergonomics, physical hazard like too much the extreme temperatures exposed to our workers. So napakadami po ng mga potential hazards in the construction industry. And let me remind you that based on our DOLE, Department Order DOLE 198, that the workers has the right to know all kinds of hazards that are in the workplace. Dapat po alamin po natin regularly the potential hazard that may cause us injury or may cause us illnesses. The reason we're doing this is we would like to see that we could prevent illnesses or we can prevent injuries and illnesses to happen in the workplace so that we remain productive, businesses remain productive as well as our workers remain safe and remain healthy. So let us always work hard in order to prevent the diminution or the impairment of the health of our workers so that we remain productive. Sabi ko mga kasamahan po sa Occupational Safety and Health Center who will be with us, Engineer Dennis Aquino and Engineer Ma'am Connie Santo Tomas who will be with us. We would like to welcome you on behalf of the Occupational Safety and Health Center. We would like to welcome you all in this training and hopefully you will be equipped to know more about important OSH legislation about the construction industry. Maraming salamat and good day to all of us.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you po, AD. Napaka-busy po ng aming Executive Director. Napakarami ng kanyang engagement activities pero sa dami nila, kayang-kaya pa rin ang aming Executive Director na maka-cut in at magbigay ng mga words na kinailangan natin para mabuhay tayo sa ating activities kagaya ngayon. Okay, thank you very much, Edie. Now, let's hear from our Regional Director sa Caraga. Napaka-busy din ni Ma'am. Galing pa po si Ma'am sa meeting niya with our Dolly Secretary, si Sylvester Belo III. Pero ginawan pa rin ni Ma'am na makasama siya natin ngayon para magbigay din ng kanyang words of encouragement sa as opening remarks she will give. So let's welcome our Caraga Regional Director, Ma'am Chona M. Montilla. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, to Executive Director Engineer Noel Binag of OSHC, our resource persons and team of resource persons from the central office, as well as the Dole Regional Office. Most of all, to our participants who have taken time to be here to maximize and take advantage of this opportunity. I was asking Engineer Hagit before as to the specific number of trainings we have had. Siguro hindi po niya nakita ang text ko. But I know both the national, especially the national office of the OSH Center, as well as the regional office, have been working hard to implement OSH trainings. This is in line with the vision of OSHC under the leadership of Engineer Binag, to have as many as possible OSH practitioners, advocates, so that we are able to implement fully what we aim for: a safe workplace, a safe and healthy workplace. We are thankful for the national office, Engineer Binag and team, for being very supportive of the regional office here in Caraga. I think the regional office, the national office, was the first to rescue us, to really give us support, even for the OFW returnees who wanted to maximize their time. Sa panahon na bakante sila, they maximize their time attending safety training so that they will also become our safety advocates. And we are very much thankful for that, for Engineer Binag and team for answering our call. For Engineer Hagit for leading the team despite limited number of personnel. Nagsusumikap din po para mabigay sa lahat. This is a time, an opportune time, because we have at our reach very much accessible the virtual trainings that we have. More and more is demanded for occupational safety and health. At the DOLE, several issuances guidelines were issued, the latest of which is the Safety Seal certification, and this will be explained later by our DOLE TSSD Chief, Division Chief Ani Tangpos, who will help us explain the highlights, as well as our team from the national office. Is one of the most active groups. In our region, we have had at least 9 fatal accidents last year. But one life is too many, especially when it involves fatal accidents. So because they are nature accidents, yet we are mindful and careful, and we are aware that we can prevent, if we can prevent these accidents through observance of proper safety.
Hindi siya connection sa laptop na ata to kasi nakikita ko naman yung video. Yung audio lang talaga. Pwedeng papuntahan na lang dito sila
through the observance of proper safety and health guidelines. So we have also challenges as to internet connections, no? So we be very careful also because there are a lot of interventions. So we have had BO 198 on observance of occupational safety and health, and a number of issuances. So more and more, I said, has been demanded of our establishments, from micro to big establishments. So ang dami-daming demand for this. So we are very much thankful for the OSHC National Office again, for the regional office, and for you as participants, so that we will take advantage of this opportunity for free trainings. Mahal po ito kung talagang mag-enroll po tayo, but now we are given this opportunity to enroll for free. So, kumusta po kayo lahat, our participants? We know you are very busy. We have many challenges, issues, and concerns, and time is demanded of us. I came from a meeting which ended 1:17. In fact, I told Engineer Hagit, baka hindi ako maka-open So our office is not only one. Ang dami naming meetings here and there, dolis here and there, because the mode of implementation mechanism now is interagency, especially as regards regional operations. We have the emails, group chat, Facebook, Messenger. So ang dami-dami po. We have meetings even as late as 10:30 to 11 p.m. And because this is June 30, end of the first semester, we are challenged to really attain our targets fully. So even in the midst of many challenges, issues, and concerns, we are thankful still for the blessings that we enjoy, even for this life that we have, even for the limited internet connection, and even for the challenges we face. We know we have our own personal challenges, sickness and death in the family. So despite this, we still move on. This is the new normal. Ang hirap because we long to do face-to-face, to meet face-to-face, but we continue to adapt, to be flexible, and most of all, to be thankful always that we are still alive and we can cope with what is happening around us. Believing that observance of occupational safety and health is the way to sustainable development. On a personal level, on a family level, much more at the workplace level. So thank you very much for our partners, our advocates, Engineer Binag and team, the regional office, Engineer Hagit and team, and most of all for you for accessing this training. Even I say my congratulations in advance. I leave this short quote. This is only 1 to 3 slides, so that in the midst of challenges and problems, we can still continue to be inspired in our attitude. This is called life without limits. So it seems that life, especially now, has so many limits for us. This is a quote from Nick Vujicic. He was born without arms or legs, and he was reared very well by his parents. So marunong siya mag-scuba diving, marunong siya ng anong sports, he acts as if talaga namang siya, able to cope. He has a book, Life Without Limbs or Life Without Limits. Second slide, please. Can you see the second slide? So only God, he continues in his book, Life Without Limits. Only God knows how our lives will unfold. Hope is his gift to us. So it's very necessary for us to wake up hopeful despite what we are undergoing at present. Hope is his gift to us, a window to look through. We cannot know the future he has planned for us. And last slide. Trust in him, keep hope in your heart. And I like this part. And even when faced with the worst, by the way, si Nick Vujicic, he has a family, I don't know if it is the latest picture, a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children. Trust in him, in God, keep hope in your heart. And even when faced with the worst, do whatever you can to prepare yourself for the best. And I believe that you as participants, our implementers, are doing ourselves, helping each other to prepare ourselves for the best by undergoing this training. This is a small part of it, but a very important part. Thank you very much again. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Jordi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Director Chona.
Po.
Salamat po.
Ay,
Ma'am, salamat.
salamat din po, Engineer Binag, Director Binag.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Maraming salamat po at nakita nyo yung nasa screen natin na bigay ni ma'am. Wala ang dalawang kamay. Pero he exists. Bakit kaya? Dahil sa tulong ng lahat ng kanyang pamilya at sa kanyang friends. Kung ano yung sinabi nila, syempre, yun, nakikinig yun. At tayo ngayon, may maririnig kayo. Maganda. At naway, sundin natin din lahat. Kasi ito, out from the good hearts of our leaders. So, ginawa nila ito ng mga programs para sa atin, para sundin, para sa kabutihan ng company at ng mga workers. So, let's start with our first topic. To inform us about the OSH legislation in the construction industry, the Safety Control Division Chief himself in our head office. All ears to Engineer Dennis Aquino. Engineer, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Direk. Good afternoon, Ma'am Choda. Si Dennis po to. Okay, pa-share na screen. Okay, so this is my topic. I hope you bear with me. Kasi medyo siguro yung iba alam na to, but again, I will just like to reiterate. So, yung topic ko is occupational safety and health, OS legislation, particularly in construction industry. Okay, so yan po yung title. Okay, so ito yung aking yung objectives. Understand the legal basis of OS implementation in the construction industry. Enumerate the role of employers and worker in implementation of implementation workplace OS and enumerate the administrative requirements. So medyo napaka broad ng ating discussion for today, but I hope you will still bear with me. Okay, so saan ba nagmula yung ating OSI standard? So actually started with the Philippine Constitution. So sa constitutional mandate, safeguarding of worker and workers' social and economic well-being as well as physical safety and health. So sinabi rin dito, the state affirm labor as a primary social economic force. It shall protect the rights of worker and promote their welfare. So you can read this on on section 18, article 2, Declaration of Principles of and State Policy. So ayan yung ating pinagmulan. So dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, since nandoon nga yan sa Philippine Constitution, nagkameron ng nung tinatawag nating Labor Code of the Philippines, PD 442 noong 1974. So kinonsolidate of labor and social to afford full protection of labor worker, promote employment and human resources development, and ensure industrial peace. So, na-develop yung ating OS standard noong 1979 and it was been amended in 1989. So, a set of mandatory rules on OS, on occupational safety and health, which codifies all safety order issued prior to its promulgation. So, at present po, siguro sasabihin natin medyo luma na yon. So, at present, it undergone review. So siguro maybe at the end of the year or early next year, we'll be having the amendment of the OS standard. So under Republic Act 11058 and its IRR, so yung IRR is the 0198. So sinabi rito is strengthening compliance with OS standard and providing penalties for violation thereof. So, nung una kasi walang violation. Merong violation but it's more on the civil case. But this time, nilagyan na ng ipin na we could be penalized. Okay, so ito po yung Labor Code, Book 4, Health and Safety and Social Welfare Benefit. So sa Chapter 1, Medical and dental services, so dapat merong first aid treatment, emergency medical and dental services, health program, qualification of health personnel, and assistance to employer. So nandoon niya sa labor code. Okay, sa book 4 ng labor code, sinabi rito, chapter 2, occupational safety and health occupational health and safety. So may nailabas yung health and safety standard natin. Then pumasok yung research, training program, and administration. So that was discussed on Labor Code Chapter 2. Ano? So yung PD 442 Chapter 2 Article 178, now 171 pala, and now 168, formerly it's 168. Sabi rito, the Secretary of Labor shall by appropriate order sets and enforce mandatory OS standards to eliminate or reduce OS hazard in all workplaces and institute new and updating existing program to ensure safe and helpful working condition in all places of employment. So, siguro I just been reading yung why and how this OS standard came. Okay? So, ito po yung in a brief story. Nagsimula yung sa labor code, followed by the IRR, which is the implementing rules, and the DO13. So DO13 is one of the, I think, the revision or added ano rito sa occupational safety and health. But not only the DO13, meron din tayong DO16, meron din tayong DO5303, meron din tayong DO7305, Prevention and Control of Workplace, and meron din tayong lately yung tinatawag na DO198, which is the IRR of 11058. So, ano ba yung DO198? So, series of 2018. So, ito yung Implementing Rules and Regulation of Republic Act 11058, entitled An Act Strengthening Compliance with Occupational Safety and Health Standard and Providing Penalty for Violation thereof. So mapapansin nyo, no, for those who have read the DO13, kaunting-kaunti lang yung pagbabago. Kasi ang pinakang mother, ano yan, ang pinakang mother nitong DO198, yung basihan is the DO13. So actually, the 11058 is solely dapat for construction worker. But when the sponsor, yung mga mambabasa nag-sponsor, and they have read it, sabi nila, bakit hindi na lang natin i-implement to the entire industry itong DO13. So that's why nagkamero ng harmonization and nag-come up yung DO198. Okay, so ito yung kung hindi pa nakakakita kayo, ito yung ating OS standard. Sometimes they called it yellow book, but once I've been cautioned na do not call it a yellow book kasi parang nagiging political issue. But from now on, sinabi ko, now I'll just call it OS standard, not a yellow book. Okay? So ito ang sets of rules by DOLE which mandate adoption and the use of appropriate practice, means, method, operation, and working condition to ensure safe and healthy employment. So basically, kung titingnan natin, the DO198 is parang cannot stand alone. It needs also this OS standard. So parang they are complementary with each other. So okay, so hindi pwedeng mawala yung isa at hindi rin pwedeng mawala yung the other one. So basically complementary. So ito yung different sets of rule, but sabi ko nga it undergone a revision. It will be it's now undergoing a revision. So mababagon lahat ito. Last time when I sat on that review of the OS standard, it's now about 9,000. Nasa rule 9,000 na sila. Okay, so medyo marami pong napadagdag. Okay? So dito rin sa OS registration, ito yung number 1 requirement, ano? So doon sa standard, yung rule 1020, so shall register business with the regional labor office having jurisdiction. O kayo ba mga nakapag-register na yung ating mga construction? So kailan magre-register? So nag-change ka ng name, lumipat ka ng location, bago na yung may-ari, and reopening after a previous closing. So siguro the moment na gumanda na yung sitwasyon sa ating kapiligiran, for those who have closed for more than a year, you need to re-register. One time po yan. Again, inuulit ko po, this is free of charge. Okay? Kayo magbabayad. Okay? So, BO13, Rule 1030, Training Accreditation. So, but there is a separate on BO198, ano? Okay, balik tayo. So, safety officer now are classified into 4. We have the SO1, SO2, and SO3. So, sa SO1, you just have to undergo the 8 hours orientation plus 2 hours TOT. So, kung ako kayo, samantalahin ninyo, especially those who are small and medium scale, to enroll, and all of this training is free of charge. Okay? So, para ka maging SO2, you need to take yung 40 hours boss and cost training. So, again, yung boss and cost are also being offered at the central office, sa amin po opisina. Again, it is free of charge. So you just have to enroll and register them kung ano yung date na available. Again, it is free of charge. So ito po yung isang tulong namin sa mga ating mga manggagawa. May nagtanong nga, sir, bakit po free? So ito po ay tulong ng DOLE. Maraming nawala ng trabaho, tapos sisingilan mo pa sila. So that's why it's been offered free. Including the SO1, it is also given free of charge. Pero kung gusto mo naman, meron din namang mga safety training organization na nag-o-offer dito, pero nga with price or with a tuition fee. Okay? So medyo marami po yung ine-offer namin. So meron din tayo doon sa sa MOS. Plus its equivalency, meron din tayong 8-hour OS seminar per worker. So, basically, itong OS seminar per workers ay ini-offer din to. So, it can be given by the STO, and it can also be given by the Occupational Safety and Health Center. So, sa mga health personnel naman, so meron tayong first aid training. Dati po, PRC lang, yung Philippine Red Cross lang ang nag-o-offer. Ngayon, meron na yung DOH, meron na rin yung TESTA, at saka meron ng BFP. Okay, so for those who are nurses and want to be an occupational nurse, you can take the BOSS for nurses. So the one that offered this course is the ONAP. You can also take the BOSS, the 40-hour BOSS, for health personnel. It is also offered, and 56-hour BOSS for physician. So basically, the training that we offer nowadays are lahat po ay free of charge. Okay, so sa Rule 1040, sinabi rin dito, so Safety and Health Committee. So this refers to a body created within the workplace task with the authority to plan, develop and implement OS policies and program, monitor and evaluated, OS program and inspect, and investigate all aspects of work pertaining to the safety and health. So, nandoon po yan, or napapaloob din po ito doon sa BO 198 Section 18. Okay? Nasasabi po rin yan, ano? So, yung ating standard, Rule 1040, Safety and Health Committee, meron tayong mga forms na inire-require dito for yung tinatawag nating submission. Meron tayong sa report form, DO-140, organization, DOLE. So makikita natin to lahat dun sa book ng OSCE standard. So requirement po din dito sa yung minutes of the meeting. Any form po to, you need to submit it. So again, 2 copies to be submitted to the concerned regional office, copy furnished to the Bureau of Working Conditions. So within 1 month after the organization and yung minutes of the meeting need to pass quarterly. So yung within 1 month after the organization, ito po yung organization ng Safety and Health Committee. Okay, so under Rule 1050, ito yung mga sinasubmit natin. So maraming mga requirements na kinakailangang malaman yung DOLE. Like for example, accident illnesses report o yung WAIR, annual exposure data report. So ito yung computation ng frequency rate and severity rate. And then the number 3, when there is a fatal injury or dangerous occurrence, you need also to inform the DOLE or you need to report. So kailan natin ito ginagawa? On or before the 20th day of month following the date of occurrence of the accident, or before the January 30 of the following year. So again, when it is fatal accident, you need to inform DOLE. Ayun po yung hinihingi rito. So ito pa rin siguro yung masasabi namin isang problema kasi ayaw nilang mag-report. Ito lang yung masasabi ko rito when we talk of reporting. DOLE need to report. DOLE need your report. Kasi how can we help you? Diba? Kung iba itinatago. Para po nating tandaan na yung DOLE po ay not for the closure of the establishment. Okay, hindi po kailangan, hindi po gusto ng DOLE na magpasarado ng establishmento. Ito po ay para matulungan namin kayo. Di ba? So, 2 copies to be submitted to the concerned regional office, copy furnish yung Bureau of Working Conditions. So, ito yung WARMA na sinasabi. Ito yung mga report na kinakailangan natin. Work Accident Illnesses Report o yung WAIR, Annual Exposure Data Report. Ito yung AEDR, Report of the Safety and Health Committee, yung minutes of the meeting ng ating Safety and Health Committee, at saka yung annual medical report. Meron pa rin ngayong bago yung ini-issue ng DOLE, yung about the COVID-19. So it's an additional requirement. So ito po yung DO13. So the salient period of DO13 series of 1998. Ang tagal-tagal na nito, no? Otherwise known as the Guidelines Governing Safety and Health in Construction Industry. So, noong 1998 pa po ito, di ba? So, dapat every one of you knows already this, di ba? Kasi parang napatungan ito nung bagong DO-198. But I'd like to mention that I'd like just to emphasize yung mga section ito. So, there are about 17 section dito. So yung first section is okay, nawawala ako. Previous. So delegation of authority, tapos yung introduction, then after the introduction nandito rin yung the section 4 is the coverage, Construction Safety and Health Program. Okay? It is unique, yung Construction Safety and Health Program. Construction Safety and Health Program are need to be approved. Unlike sa other establishment, DIM approved kaagad sila. So, unlike sa construction, dapat approvean to. So, basically, dapat marami kasing kino-cover when we talk of construction safety and health. So, meron tayong mga heavy equipment, yung accident prevention plan mo, yung lockout, tag-out. So, it's not only the one that you have read doon sa pinakang sinasabi natin na pro forma. Kasi yung DOLE also also made, particularly the BWC, also make a pro forma of the safety and health. But it's not just like that. So you need to include, di ba? Everything. Like for example, the PPE, how it is being issued, how it is being maintained. So pinag-aaralan din natin yon. So the number of safety and health personnel. So I'd like to reiterate again, sa safety personnel, ito yung safety officer, ang minimum po sa construction, which is the high risk, ang minimum safety officer dito is SO2. How can you become an SO2? Those worker who undergone the 40 hours training. Bawal po dito ang SO1 when we talk of construction. Kaya siguro for those who already have the SO1, kung may SO1 po kayo, it is not counted. Okay? Dito rin po, under DO 198, pagsasabayin ko na, under DO 198, hindi na po nangangailangan ng accreditation. Okay? Maliwanag po, wala na pong accreditation. Okay? Although may ina-accredit pa rin namin those who are applying, pero it does not require accreditation. Kasi po ito yung during the tripartite conference or tripartite consultation, ito yung ipinoint out ng mga sector why you need to be accredited. Diba? So, purely designation or appointment will do. And who's the one that issued the appointment? It is the HR or the project manager doon sa isang personnel, provided that they have accomplished under doon sa DO 198, i-discuss natin. Okay, emergency occupational health personnel and facilities. So, basically, ang sinusunod natin dyan is the Sanitary Code of the Philippines as well as the DO 13. Construction safety signages, ito, marami akong nakikita. Tama ba yung pagkakalagay ng signages within your site, di ba? So kung titingnan natin, marami pa rin ang hindi marunong gumamit ng mga signages. Safety on construction heavy equipment, as mentioned kanina doon sa aming introduction doon sa video, accreditation of construction heavy equipment testing organization. It is now vested or dinelegate na sa amin ng DOLE na kami na yung mag-a-accredit ng mga construction heavy equipment testing organization. I just want to remind you na hindi po ngayon namin inaalaw yung virtual inspection ng mga construction heavy equipment. Bawal po yun. Okay? Wala pong virtual inspection. Ngayon, kung kayo ay nag-conduct na o may nag-conduct na sa inyo, kindly submit to us those testing organization and they will be deal accordingly for their wrongdoing. Ano? Okay, in construction, there is also the Safety and Health Committee. You need also to provide health, safety and health information. Construction safety training, health training. So, ito po yung tinatalakay dito yung cost na sinasabi. Ano? Construction safety and health report. So, ang gagamitin natin yung sa OS standard. Kailangan din po sa construction yung worker skills. So, alam naman natin kung sino nagbibigay niyan. It is the TESTA. For those who have heavy equipment, for those who have yung ating mga mason, for those people who are conducting electrical installation, so kinakailangan yung skill certificate. Worker welfare facilities, and the last section, sinabi rito, cost of construction safety and health program is a separate pay item. Okay? So, huwag ninyong ini-neglect yun, bagyan ng budget yung OS program. Kasi kung in-neglect mo, at DOLE inspect you, wala kang you still need to provide. Okay? So yung Department Order 198 Series of 2018, so yung sinasabi na pinirmahan ni Presidente Duterte, implementing rules and regulation as an act of strengthening compliance with occupational safety and health standard and providing penalties violation thereof. So, ibahin ko kayo, may violation na po. Okay? Huwag natin pong kalilimutan, violation. Okay? So, declaration of policy. So, sa sinasabi lang dito, are fully enforce and comply with the employer. So, it is the responsibility of the state to ensure that the provision of the labor code, all domestic laws, and internationally recognized standards on us are being enforced and complied by the employer. So it shall protect every worker against injury, sickness, and death through safe and healthful working conditions. It shall promote strict dynamics inclusive of gender-sensitive measures in formulation and implementation of the policies and program related to us. Okay. So parang sinasabi rin dito, wala nang exemption. So dati kasi yung OS standard, there is something exemption, di ba? Para dito kinover ng lahat. Kung makikita ninyo, yung example niyan is the Philippine Economic Zone o the PESA. So they are the exclusive zone, yung PESA. So under this law, cover na rin sila. Okay? So whether it is government or privately owned o sa privately owned export processing zone, they are now covered, di ba? So pagka pinag-usapan dito covered, maraming ako experience diyan. So tapusin ko muna pag may oras pa tayo saka ako sasabihin. So utilities in air, sea, and land transportation. So naka-highlight po sila, naka-blue kasi yung dati, paano natin implement yung OSI standard? Kasi pagka yung eroplano kasi nandoon pa sa airport, you're now under the Department of Labor. The moment na tumaas ka or lumipad, you're under DOTR. Ganon din dito sa sa land transportation. Kapag ka yung bus nasa loob pa ng terminal, you're under DOLE. Pero the moment na lumabas yung bus doon sa terminal, you're under DOTR. Kaya mapapansin nyo, bakit yung mga enforcer ng DOTR, hindi nila hinuhuli yung kolorum na bus while they are still inside the terminal. Inaantay nilang lumabas, then that's the only time they will penalize you. Kasi wala silang jurisdiction. The one who has jurisdiction when the bus is at the terminal is the DOLE. So industries such as mining, fishing, and construction or agriculture are also included on this coverage. Contractor, subcontractor, including those engaged in the project of public sector, sakop po sila. Hindi mo pwedeng project yan ni senator, project yan ni congressman, project yan ni mayor, project yan ni gobernador. All of you are subject to these laws. Okay? Maliwanag po, nagkakaintindihan tayo. Walang exemption. Okay, coverage. Coverage, the rule does not apply. Okay. To public sectors such as national government agency, governmentally owned and controlled corporation, government financial institution, state university, college, and local government. Kasi po, this public sector o yung public sector is under the Civil Service Commission. But meron po inilabas na JAW with CSC, DOH, the Department of Labor. Now, they want to adopt this BO 198. So it was being spearheaded by the Civil Service Commission. So anong participation ng DOLE? We are the one that in charge on what kind of standard will be imposed. Kasi meron na nga naman kami nitong standard. So Itong sectional coverage nito are now applicable to public sector. Maliwanag po. Pero the one that run this is the CSC. So, for your information, we have a series of training na kinokonduct dito sa Quezon City o sa Manila na for local government or government agency which is also entitled BOSS. Okay? So, diminution of term. So, meron tayo ngayong low risk, meron tayong medium risk. So, tanong ba yung low risk? A workplace where there is low level of danger or exposure to safety and health. That is low risk. Ano po naman yung medium risk establishment? A workplace where there is a moderate exposure to safety and health hazard with the probability of an accident or injury or illnesses. So, basically, the hazard is now based on a risk. So, meron tayong low, meron tayong medium, at saka meron tayong high risk. Di ba? So, in terms of construction industry, sa listahan number 2 tayo. So, meaning to say, a high-risk establishment refer to wherein the presence of hazard or potential hazards within the company may affect the safety and health of workers, not only within, but also person outside the workplace. The following are workplace commonly associated with high risk. Di ba? So, kapag kayo ay makaka-injure ng public or makaka-aksidente ng public because yung presence yun nun, you can now be considered as a high risk. Okay? So, ito yung iniiwasan ng ating mga establishmento, yung imminent danger. Kasi when you are being issued imminent danger, may corresponding penalties po yan. So, imminent danger, meron niyang WSO. Meron tayo dyan tinatawag na work stoppage order. Kung babasahin natin yung work stoppage order, pinatigil ka, automatic 100,000 po yun. So, yung penalty po ng DOLE, per day po yun. Sasabihin nyo, ay 50 million, but it is on a per day basis. Ano? Meron din tayo ng tinatawag na Safety and Health Program, a set of detailed rules to govern company policy, process, and practices in all economic activities to conform with the OSI standard. Okay. So, there is one time na nagtanong sa akin, Sir, bakit po yung DOLE is have to come up with this so many law, di ba? Kasi po, marami ring violator at marami ring hindi sumunod. Why is it na sundin muna ninyo yung mga old laws and DOLE could never think of another laws, di ba? Kayo naman yung nasa industriya din ninyo, yung nagpapahigpit ng batas. Kasi kung walang violator doon sa mga naunang law, hindi maiisip to, di ba? If you are all compliant. Kaya nga yung tao, sabi sa akin nung nagtanong nga, bakit nyo pinahihirap yung negosyo? Di ba? Ito na nga, wala na nga trabaho and yet you keep on issuing the law. Sabi ko sa kanya, it is because of you. Kasi kung kayo ay compliant, DOLE could never think of another law. Di ba? Okay. So, ito yung definition ng SO1, SO2, SO3, and SO4. Okay? So, again, yung 8 hours orientation, di ba? So, training, 40 hours training, of course, applicable to every industry. So, that is, sorry ha, nagkabago. SO1 is an 8 hours and 2 hours training of trainers. Okay? Yung SO2, 40 hours training applicable to industry kasi po meron tayo nung cost at saka meron tayo nung boss. Okay? So, definitely when you are in a construction industry, you need to take yung mandatory hours na 40 hours. So, ang SO3, 40 hours training applicable to industry additional 48 hours of advanced special training course, at least 2 years experience. So, yung SO2 nyo, syempre parang career improvement niya, you need to have the 40 advanced 40 hours. Hindi na po yung DOLE ang mag-a-assign sa'yo. The one that would make you an SO3 is the company itself. Diba? Based doon sa ano. But sinabi rin dito, it is also eligible. O pwede ka pa rin namang magpa-accredit. So yung accreditation are being done by DOLE, but it is not a requirement for your information. Ang dami-dami po. This is one of my problem na maaari kong sabihin sa inyo na ang dami pong nagpapaka-accredit ng SO3. Kasi equivalent dito yung accredited safety and health personnel. So, hindi naman po kasi requirement na yung accreditation. We only accredit for those who want to be a speaker in every training organization. Pero in terms of practice, you don't need to be accredited. Okay? Tumatambak po. Ang dami ko ng istorya dyan. Ang dami na 888 na ako at present. May 88 ako, nagrereklamo. Bakit hindi pa raw siya accredit? Marami pong requirement for your information, for you to be accredited. Kasi isa pa, hindi na kinakailangan. Isa pa, ano yung partisipasyon mo? Ano yung maitutulong mo sa DOLE? Kung sakasakaling i-accredit. Sasagot sa'yo, wala po. So why you need to be accredited? Di ba? Sir, I want to implement the law. How can you implement the law wherein you do not know the law? Di ba? Okay. Yung SO4, syempre, when you reach the SO3, there is this SO4. Ito po yung consultant, ano? Ang dami po rin nag-a-apply niyan. Di ba? Tanong ko muna yung pang SO3. Ay hindi niya masagot, hindi niya ma-implement. So, what is the difference between the consultant and accredited? Okay, so basically, nagpa-pile up doon sa amin kasi hindi naman po rin siguro masasabi ko. Siguro nakalimutan lang nila. But again, you want an accreditation, you need to review the law. Okay, for your information. Okay. So, duties of the employer under Section 4, equipment. A place of employment, equip. A place of employment for worker free from hazardous conditions that are causing or likely to cause death, illnesses, or physical hazards. So, equip mo raw yung workplace mo. Provide complete job safety instruction to all workers, including but not limited to those relating familiarization with the work environment. Ensure that chemical, physical, and biological substances and ergonomics and social stresses and under control without risk to the to its health. So, employers pa rin, use only approved specific industry standard devices for workplace. Devices, equipment to the workplace, di ba? So, comply with the OS standard including training, medical examination, and where there is necessary provision of personal protective equipment, such devices as PPE and machine guard. Okay? So you need to make arrangement for worker and their representative to have time, resources to participate in the process of organizing, planning, and implementing monitoring, evaluation, action for improvement of cost management system. Kasi if the management only will be the one to implement the program, and you do not involve the worker, walang kwenta po. Diba? They are complementary again. Diba? You have this set and rule, but no one will follow. So, you need to educate your your worker regarding the sets of standards, di ba? So that you could find it under Rule 1005 of the OS standard. Okay, duties of the employer: provide necessary measure for identifying, training, drill, evacuation plan, etc. to deal with the emergency fires accident, including the first aid. So, you need to equip them, ano? Comply with the reportorial requirement of the standard. So, yung binanggit ko kanina, yung nasabi ko kanina. And next is registered establishment to DOLE as provided as on the standard. So, sabi ko nga, complementary din yung 198 at saka yung O standard, including the DO13, ano? So, worker. So, we need to participate. Diba? So, you need to encourage your worker to participate in capability building activities on safety and health and other ORS-related topic programs. So, participate. Proper use. So, you need to instruct your worker of the use of safeguard, safety devices furnished for worker protection that of the other. Comply with the instruction to prevent accident or imminent danger situation in the workplace, and observe prescribed steps to be taken in cases of emergency. So that's why every now and then siguro meron tayong kinakandak yung national, di ba? And you need to allow them to participate. So report to their immediate supervisor any work hazard that may be discovered within the workplace. So, duties ito ng employee, ha, ng workers. Okay. Duties of other person. Other person including the builder contractor who visit buildings, renovate, or install devices or conduct business in any establishment or workplace shall comply with the provision of this rule and other regulation issued by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. So, sabihin mo, hindi naman ako may-ari niyan, proyekto ito naman, but again, you still need to comply. So, sinabi rin dito, whenever two or more establishments are engaged in activities simultaneously, marami yan sa construction. May general contractor, may subcontractor. It shall be the duty of all concerned to collaborate and cooperate to ensure compliance with the standard regulation. Okay, yung best practice nito, yung isang general contractor, before they employed or get the services of the subcontractor, they also ask for their program, the safety and health program. So if they found out that the safety and health program ng subcontractor is more superior than theirs, then the subcontractor are now their program are now being imposed. Okay? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin nito. Okay? Worker right to know. The right to safety and health shall at all shall be guaranteed. Kasi sinabi nga doon sa sa Philippines Constitution, including on the preamble. All workers shall be provided appropriate informed by the employer about the types of hazard in the workplace. So that's why there is this orientation. So dapat ipaalam mo ano yung mga peligro, ano yung mga panganib. Meron tayong chemical safety, electrical safety, mechanical safety, ergonomics and hazard. So you need to know. And who will be the one to deliver or So, syempre, it is the safety officer. Di ba? All worker, including newly hired, shall provide training and information for all types of hazard in the workplace in a language and dialect that worker can understood. Di ba? Sa area nyo, kung Bisaya, di Bisayain natin, di ba, na yung majority of your worker really understand. So, a reorientation of the safety and health for worker in a higher establishment must be conducted regularly. Hindi po once. Dapat meron kang at least one every quarter na reorientation. Okay? Rights of worker to refuse to unsafe work. So may duty ka naman bilang worker, ipinaalam ng management sa iyo kung ang hazard. Okay? Then, walang ini-issue yung management kung paano mo maiiwasan yung hazard. Again, you have that right. Okay? Okay, a preventive measure of a safety may follow in his own determination and without fear, reprisal implement a work stoppage order. So ito yung isang power ng isang safety officer. They could issue a work stoppage. Ito yung sinasabi ko. So if a safety officer issue a work stoppage, walang penalties. Pero kung ikaw yung management, hindi mo sinunod si safety and health officer mo, pwede siyang magsumbong sa DOLE, and DOLE will be the one to issue the work stoppage. So, merong magandang reasonable. Yan. Kasi, the owner are the one now that designate the safety officer. I-designate mo yan di ba? So, meaning to say, may tiwala ka sa kanya. Di ba? So, ngayon, huwag mo alsin yung tiwala sa kanya na later on, he or she will issue a work stoppage order. Kasi the moment na hindi mo sinunod siya, pwede siyang pumunta sa DOLE at yung DOLE ang mag-issue ng work stoppage. Okay? You're so powerful ang safety officer even though you are not an accredited. Employer safety officer may require the worker to return when there is continuing imminent danger. So, bilang safety officer ng isang establishmento, ikaw yung magdi-determine. If you found out na wala ng imminent danger, then you may lift the work stoppage order. Di ba? Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, kapag ka ito'y naisumbong na sa DOLE ng iyong safety officer, mag-i-issue ngayon ng work stoppage yung DOLE. The only one that could lift that work stoppage order is the DOLE inspector. Okay? Maliwanag po, nagkakaintindihan tayo doon. So, you're so powerful. Diba? You're so powerful and you're being trusted by your employer kasi siya nag-appoint sa iyo or nag-designate. Okay? Huwag niyong hayaan yung DOLE ang mag-issue ng work stoppage order kasi yung DOLE pag nag-issue ng work stoppage order may kaukulang penalties. Okay? Report, worker and the representative shall have the right to report accident, dangerous occurrence, and hazard to the employer, the DOLE, and other concerned competent agency. So, pwedeng mag-report din yung DOLE kung yung safety officer ay hindi nagre-report, pwedeng mag-report yung worker to DOLE. Di ba? So, reporting of accident to DOLE may be made through the means of communication including DOLE hotline. Whether it is most convenient to the worker, the same may be reported to the nearest DOLE regional office, field, provincial, satellite office, having jurisdiction of their own. Okay? Kaya kung ikaw ay safety officer, sabi mo, designated ka ng pwedeng yung worker would report to DOLE. Pero may kasunod pa po yan. Di ba? Ang kasunod niyan, meron ding protection yung worker na nag-report. Ikaw ay puprotektahan ng DOLE kapag ka ikay nag-report. Yung legitimate lang, baka naman mag-report ka, it's just a hearsay. May validation din po yun. Di ba? Pero if DOLE found out na justifiable or okay yung reporting mo, those who report to DOLE are being protected. Okay? Section 8, personal protective equipment. Again, pag sinabing PPE, alam na ninyo siguro lahat, it is free of charge. Don't ever collect deduct to workers' wages yung mga PPE na ginamit nyo. It should always be free of charge. Kasi kasama yan sa kontrata. Okay, maliwanag po. So, it is a separate item in any bid tender document. Ngayon, kung hindi ka naglagay ng presyo, kasalanan mo yun. Okay? Maliwanag po. Free of charge. Bawal ang salary deduction. Bawal yung so hindi ina-allow. But in some cases, for those who are non-construction, dinadaan yung issuance ng PPE through collective bargaining agreement. Wala namang union sa construction. So kaya imposible po yung CBA sa construction industry. Labor Union knows that it is very hard to establish union in the construction industry. So alam nila yon. But in other industry, itong personal protective equipment, pinadadaan ito sa collective bargaining agreement or CBA. Okay. Worker protection. All 2P, ito yung isa, shall be of appropriate type as tested and approved. So dapat may testing. Diba? Meron yung nagtanong during one of the forum. Sir, paano yung PPE na binebenta dun sa mga kilalang department store? Like for the example, the Ace Hardware, ano ba yung malapit dyan sa Caraga na isang I forget the name. So, kung ikaw ay employer or hanapin mo yung test result. Okay? Nabasa ko nung isang araw or sinabi nung isa naming kaopisina, ang validity po nung certification o nung testing is 2 years. Kung ipakita sa inyo nung Ace Hardware at saka nung Handyman, for example, ay luma na, don't ever buy it. You ask for the recent test result. Okay? So, the usage of PPE in the establishment project shall be in all places where there is work being done shall be based on the evaluation and recommendation of the safety officer. So, bawat personal protective equipment po, may may life expectancy kung ilang taon yan magagamitin. So, sana naka-attend kayo nung last usapan namin sa Manila, and you would learn a lot of how to evaluate the PPE. All PPE must be of approved size, weight, and type. Diba? Kasi nga, since sasabihin nila, ito lang yung available, hindi po pwede yun. Diba? You need to provide him with approved size, weight, and type. Okay? Failure to provide PPE in a high-risk activity shall give a rise to the right of the worker to the refusal to work. Okay, bilang worker, hindi nasunod yung supposed to be na PPE na dapat ipaggamit sa'yo, pwede kang mag-refuse to work. Ewan ko lang kung may gagawa ng worker. But again, you are being guaranteed by DOLE naman the moment na nagsumbong ka sa kanila. Di ba? So, signages, ito, napakarami. Ang dami ko ng construction. Siguro, hindi lang 10 beses ako nagpunta dyan sa region yun to conduct the cost training. I was usually the head delegate in the conduct of this construction safety training. Until now, yun yung ikinasasama ng loob ko. Hindi pa nila alam kung paano gamitin yung danger, yung ocean, yung safety information. Di ba? Siguro may pagkukulang din kami. Pero as I have mentioned naman, tinuro naman namin yan. Sa safety signage device shall be posted in a prominent strategic location. So yung tamang kalalagyan nito. So we might also follow yung globally harmonized system, yung GHA. So basically, yung chemical radiation, yung safety instruction and warning sign. Sana po may provide natin sila dyan. Okay. Safety and the use of equipment. So dito, i-define the subcontractors must comply with the OS standards set by DOLE on the use of such equipment. Okay, so may inspection po. And the one who conduct inspection is this CHETO, Construction Heavy Equipment Testing Organization. There are about 20 or 25 CHETO accredited testing organization. Pero ito may kanya-kanya. So ngayon po, due to the issuance of our director na bago mag-conduct ng testing, yung isang CHETO, kinakailangan munang ipaalam sa amin. So pag nalaman namin, i-issue namin sila ng permit to conduct inspection, ito naman ay inire-relay namin sa mga DOLE Regional Office. Okay? For them to have an information. So yun po yung proseso when we talk of inspection. Ngayon, sa mga operator. So sa mga operator, again, sino ba yung nag-i-issue nito? It is the TESDA, Professional Regulatory Commission, and other concerned agencies shall be required for operator to use heavy equipment if applicable. Okay? So, Section 10, the use of heavy equipment. Section 13, anong sinasabi rito? So, ito na nga yung sinasabi ko. Sa DO 13, Section 7, Safety and Health, Safety on Construction Heavy Equipment. Specific guide for testing, transport, erection, and maintenance of heavy equipment is formulated. So, sabi ko, yung CHETO is now with us. So, dati ako yung head ng section dito, pero ngayon, head na lahat ako nila, no? So, yung accreditation. So, duly written inspection to be conducted by duly certified mechanics operator, inspection by DOLE accredited personnel, and maintenance to a separate construction logbook for each equipment. So, may logbook bawat construction heavy equipment na gagamitin nyo. So, information, naman sinasabi dito sa information, employer, contractor, subcontractor, if any, provide the workers in all establishment project and all other places where work is being undertaken adequate suitable information of the following: workplace hazards, control mechanism, appropriate measure, emergency disaster. So, dapat meron kayo nung SDS, safety data sheet, itong mga information na ito, are usually accompanied by the chemicals or the material you'll be using. So, you could get information on the safety data sheet na sinasabi mo, na sinasabi natin. So, information are the one who is in charge with this is the Safety and Health Committee. Okay? Health program, safety and health program sa construction. So, covered workplaces shall develop, implement suitable OS program in the format prescribed by DOLE, which shall be posted in a prominent location. For establishment less than 10 worker, low risk establishment 50 to and 10 to 50 workers, the program shall be duly signed by the employer, including at least of the following. So, basically, ito na yung outline ng isang construction safety and nung isang safety and health program. Ito yung sa general. But ang sabi ko sa inyo, kakaiba yung pagdating doon sa DOLE, dito sa high risk, high risk establishment 10 to 50 worker, low risk to high risk establishment with worker. The program which shall be duly signed by interim must include of the following. So, magkaiba yung nilalaman ng programa sa low risk at saka low risk to high risk. So meaning to say, if your worker is within and above 51, ito dapat yung programa. I don't want to elaborate each of them kasi medyo mauubos na yata yung oras ko, no? Okay. So, ito po yung mga content siguro nung sinasabi natin. But again, I just want to highlight yung nilalaman ng DO-198 under the DO-198 under the construction, ano? Okay. So, pag sinabing program, tingnan na niyo yung third program, a duly signed company commitment to comply with the OS requirement together with the company OS program using prescribed template shall be considered approved upon submission, except, ito yung sinasabing except, Construction Safety and Health Program or CSFP which shall be needed approved by DOLE prior to the construction. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina na bago mag-start yung construction, kinakailangang pa-approvean muna sa DOLE. Ha? Unlike doon sa iba, industry, no need, duly approved na yon or siguradong approved na yon. Consider approved upon submission. Ano nito maliwanag? Except Construction Safety and Health Program. The company shall review, evaluate program at least a year or necessary, necessary. So, you need to have to yan. So, sa Safety and Health Committee under DO-198, medyo na bago, no? So, less than 10, low-risk establishment, 10 workers. SO shall establish Safety and Health Committee composed of this following. So, since you are not naman on a low risk, I'd rather just discuss doon sa medium to high risk. So, again, the chairperson is employer and his representative, safety officer of the workplace. Dito kinakailangan na ng certified first aider, occupational nurse, occupational dentist, and HO physician or applicable. Applicable pala. Safety officer representing the contractor or the subcontractor. So, you need to solicit or ask your subcontractor to have a representative also on the Safety and Health Committee. So, basically, the one that monitor and evaluate the program is the Safety and Health Committee for your information. Okay. The Safety and Health Committee under duties and responsibilities, so DO-13 Section 11.1, ikaw yung magplano, oversee, implement of accident prevention program in every project. You need to direct accident prevention efforts of the project, initiate, conduct of toolbox meeting. So dito, in-spell out na yung TBM, so dapat may toolbox. Review, inspect, accident investigation report, prepare, submit minutes of the meeting, develop, maintain disaster contingency, and provide assistance to DOLE inspector. Okay? DO-13, Section 11, nung 198, the person constituting the Safety and Health Committee as far as applicable be founded at the construction site whenever construction is undertaken. Okay? So, hindi pag nagpunta yung DOLE, sasabihin mo, ay wala po yung Safety and Health Committee, sa papel lang po yan. Patay kang bata ka. Time shifted of related activities as a training, meeting, inspection, investigation shall be considered compensable time. Okay. Yung isang worker nagsabi, sir, I need to attend that 40 hours training. So, may budget naman din, di ba? Sabi ko yung Safety and Health Committee, Safety and Health is a separate pay item. Sir, pwede ba akong umattend doon? So, yung pag-attend niya, siya na yung magbabayad at the same time, pwede ring diretso rin yung sweldo niya. Okay? Kasi yung personal improvement ng isang individual. Okay? Yun na to. Ito po yung 4 duties of the Safety and Health Officer. Safety Officer. So, ikaw yung mag-o-oversee ng program in coordination with the safety and health. Ikaw yung mag-monitor and inspect of the safety and health aspect of the operation. You need to assist government inspector in the conduct of safety and health inspection at any time when it is being performed. Ito yung sinasabi ko, yung isang duty mo. You can issue work stoppage order when necessary based on the requirement procedural provided by the O standard. Safety officer of all places must possess the necessary training experience requirement according to its category. The number one qualification shall be proportionate to the total number of worker and equipment size, work areas, classification in the workplace such as being criteria as required by the standard. Okay. Ngayon, sinasabi natin, para ka makaging SO, you need to undergo yung training, whether it is boss or cost, di ba? So, pagka low to medium, you are required to have the 10 hours training. In case contractor, subcontractor, at least one safety officer must be deployed at each specific area of operation to operation management, operational safety and health program in its own workforce. So, bilang general contractor, you can now require your subcontractor to designate one safety officer. At sabi ko kanina, ang contractor, regardless of number of worker, proportional din yung safety officer. Sabi ko, minimum of SO2. SO1 is not needed in construction industry. Okay, health personnel, there should be a first aider, nurses and dentists. So, number of personnel, hindi pwede po yung yung classification as full-time and part-time. Equipment, facility, and the amount of supply shall be proportionate to the number of workers and the risk of hazard involved in the workplace. Employer covered by this rule shall provide his or worker medical services facilities and shall not be an excuse by the employer for maintaining his or worker first aid treatment room or clinic for workers. Okay? So, ito, sinasabi ko, 5 minutes travel, 5 kilometer travel or 25 minutes travel. What DOLE is looking dito is yung memorandum of agreement with the nearest hospital. Kasi ang nagiging problema rito, yung hindi tinatanggap yung worker, kinakailangan ng deposito. Doon na-aggravate. So, a written contract with the establishment, so yung memorandum of agreement with the nearest hospital is needed. Para kung may ma-aksidente, hindi siya i-denied. May sigurado siyang ma-hospital doon. Okay? So, safety and health training. So, as I had mentioned kanina, SO1, SO2, SO3, first aider, occupational nurse, occupational dentist, and occupational physician. All workers shall undergo the mandatory workers or seminar as prescribed by DOLE and shall be jointly participated by the worker. So, mapapansin nyo, yung SO1 may TOT kasi siya yung magkukondak ng training as an ECO. Kasama yung management, kasama yung worker and employer. So, standardized training module for safety and health personnel shall be implemented in daily regularly as necessary. So, a mandatory workers or seminar may be conducted by a safety officer. So, yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. The established or any certified OS practitioner or consultant. So, yun yung isang masasabi natin na duties ng consultant. Pero sinabi rito, safety officer. Di ba? Okay. A workers or seminar and other training orienters are required by the employer by the law shall be at no cost to the worker. Okay? Walang bayad, ano? Okay. specialized instruction and training of such activities. All personnel engaged in operation, erection, dismantling, and scaffold structural erection, excavation, and blasting operation. Ito yung mga kinukonsider natin as specialized training. So those who are conducting this or erecting a scaffold shall be TESDA certified, for your information. Such training shall include, among other topics, safety, specialized PPE requirement. So yung PAAS, siguro you have heard of that, including the use of appropriate handling of the same, which shall be provided by DOLE accredited training organization or the PPE manufacturer. Reporting. So again, I have mentioned din dito kay yung katulad no, the WAIR, the AMR, Safety and Health Organization, AEDR, it should also be submitted. Not only the contractor or subcontractor should report to the DOLE. Maliwanag po ba yan? Competency, as I have mentioned sa inyo kanina, ito yung kinakailangan na ini-issue ng professional organization, di ba? PRC, OS personnel, at the same time equivalency to continuing or CPD points. Other professional upgrade and updating level competency worker or TESDA shall establish. So, critical operation. So, alam naman ninyo kung ano yung mga critical operation na sinasabi natin. Okay, welfare facility na kinakailangan, adequate supply of water, adequate sanitary washing facility, so suitable accommodation for worker, kinakailangan natin yan. Separate sanitary washing and sleeping facilities for all gender as it may be applicable. So kapag may female ka, you need to provide them with a lactation station. So doon sa mga disabled, ramps, railing, and alike. Other worker facilities may be prescribed by OS standard and other issuance. Okay. All employer, contractor, and subcontractor, if any, shall comply with the occupational safety and health standards. Okay? Ito, last. The cost of safety and health program, the total cost of implementing a duly approved OS program shall be integrated part of the operation cost. It shall be a separate pay item. Okay? At this point, siguro, gising pa ba kayo dyan? Naintindihan ba nyo? Do you have any clarification or question regarding doon sa DO-198? So it is also encompasses yung DO-13. Okay? May tanong?
Later on, Mr. Dennis, we will have an open forum. Meron na rin mga nag-type sa chat box.
Okay. Hindi ko nabasa kasi medyo maliit itong screen ko.
Okay po sir, mamaya po sir.
Okay, mamahin na naman. Okay, so again, mamaya na lang ako magpapasalamat. Okay, thank you po. Pwede ko nang i-unshare.
Okay, thank you, Engineer. Thank you very much. So, sabi ni Engineer doon sa mga gustong magtanong, so pag-usapan natin kung paano. So,
mamaya na lang siguro. After the next speaker.
okay, don't worry po, Engineer. Okay, so sabay-sabay na lang daw ang questions after mamaya. So update us about the latest OS policy and updates from DOLE. Let's hear the implementing guidelines of the Safety Field Certification Program from the Technical Support Services Division, also known as PSSD, the Farragut PSSD Chief, Ma'am Annie C. Campos. Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all our participants.
Good afternoon
And
po,
good
ma'am.
afternoon to Sir Dennis. Sir Dennis, I was listening to your talk. Hello, kumusta ka po? All right, I'll be discussing with you. This will be very short. This will be very short, but I know that many of you will have questions later. I will be talking about the Safety Seal certification. This is the latest, actually, not only done by the Department of Labor and Employment, but also with the rest of the issuing agencies. This one is giving all our people actually an insurance that all our establishments, our places are safe, so we can go there anytime. Meaning, this is actually talking about the economy, the reopening of our economy. That's why we have to give our people, all our clients, the the safety that they need. So not only the workers, but also the population in general. So what is this safety seal certification? So may I request OSHC to please have my slides. I emailed you my slides yesterday.
Okay po.
Okay. This is actually a joint memorandum circular number 21, 21-01 series of 2021. Now, prior to the issuance of the latest interim guidelines for the Department of Labor and Employment on June 9, there was actually a memorandum already sent to us by the central office regarding the safety seal. But when we received the latest interim, there was a change. There were changes. There are already changes on how this safety seal certification program will be implemented, particularly in the Department of Labor and Employment. I understand that this is a group of contractors. There are also participants here coming from the public sector. And I asked a while ago, Christian, what kind of sectors we are having here. Sabi ni Christian, halo-halo daw po. So this is timely because this safety seal certification program is not only good for the private sector. Even the public sector will also get a seal or the certification seal. So let's have to discuss this one by one. You see there, DOLE, DOH, DILG, DOT, DTI. Later you will see, hindi lang pala DOLE ang magbibigay ng CPC. So sige po, let's start. Next slide. All right. Our Safety Seal Certification Program is anchored on the protection and promotion of the right to health to the people. That's why I told you a while ago, this is actually not only for the workers, but also for the population as a whole. It's also anchored on, of course, the presence of our COVID-19, which has brought difficulties in our lives. And everybody of us is actually threatened by the surge and the increasing number of positive cases, even in Caraga region. And there was a time, actually, it was May, later part of May, where Caraga region is the first top region to have positive case for COVID-19 in that particular day. It was horrible. So now we are MECQ, I think MECQ still until June 30, 2021. It's also anchored on the strict and continual compliance with minimum public health standards. Even if there will no longer be COVID, we will continue to implement the strict and continual compliance of our minimum public health standards of the DOH. And I know that many of you, if not all of you, already know what are these minimum public health standards set by our interagency task force for the management of emerging infectious disease and our Department of Health. Sige, next slide, please. All right. So the guidelines are hereby promulgated to guide establishments. See, establishments meaning private sector, local governments, appeal ang local governments, and other implementing agencies on the grant of and retention of the safety seal certification. You will notice later that even DOLE will also get a safety seal, because if we are the ones implementing the safety seal certification program for the private sector, and we will not pass also the evaluation to be done by the DILG, because DILG will be the one to issue safety seal for the public sector. So it's a very big slap on our faces that we will actually implement the safety seal in the private sector, and we will not do the same. Sige. Next slide. Ito lang siguro paspaso, no? All right. So our objectives include assurance of the customers and the public in general, the establishment's compliance with minimum public health standards set by the government, and the encouragement of the use of the Stay Safe digital contact tracing. Later, I will tell you what to do with the Stay Safe if you have not seen this. Actually, this is the one advocated by Manny Pacquiao, Stay Safe. But if you have not seen this, it's very easy. It's just like registration of the Facebook account, sa pa mga social media accounts. Online registration. And this is just to contact trace COVID status, COVID-19 status. And the third is, one of the most important things is for us to safely reopen our economy. So our people would feel safe when they enter your establishment, when they enter supermarkets, when they enter malls. So those are all our objectives. And our guidelines shall cover the private establishments, selected public places, government offices. So we have separate guidelines in the issuance of the safety seal, is separate for DTI, separate for LGU, separate for DOT and DOLE. Why? Because there are specific requirements of the particular issuing office. We have also, but actually, in general, the same public health measures, only that there are specific guidelines set by a particular issuing company, issuing agency, for you to comply if you are under the jurisdiction of that agency. Okay, next slide. Right. You already know Interagency Task Force for Management of Emerging Infectious Disease, or RIATAP. Our issuing authority, I will enumerate one by one, and then our minimum public health standards. Next slide. Okay. So later, Engineer Christian, I will discuss with them in detail what is Stay Safe. Let's go to the next slide. All right. What is this safety seal? This affirms that an establishment has been found compliant with the minimum public health standards set by the government, including the adoption or integration with the StaySafe.ph in contact tracing application. The seal shall be displayed conspicuously at all entrance points according to prescribed dimensions. Obtaining the safety seal shall be at no cost, wala pong bayad, to the establishment. I was saying a while ago, if you will not be using StaySafe.ph, any contact tracing facility or is established by the local government unit can be done for as long, can be used, for as long as it's integrated with the StaySafe. Or if that contact tracing facility is recognized by the DOH or the local government unit, especially if it's the local government unit that establishes that particular contact tracing facility. Just like the province of Surigao del Norte, I understand that the local government unit has established its own contact tracing application. So no problem for as long as it can trace and it can contain the status of COVID in that particular area, and that is used, that is recognized, that is integrated, that can still be accredited under staysafe.ph. Our safety seal will be valid for 6 months. Many establishments asked me, Ma'am, why is it that the validity is for 6 months only? Now, the BWC actually told us that because of COVID, our major requirement for the safety seal is for compliance to curb the spread of COVID. And we know that COVID is changing. The variants are, sorry, they are not coming, but honestly, there are variants coming, and so we do not know how would we do or what do we do for another 3 months from now, or what will happen to us 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 5 months from now. That's why we have to update every time. That's why our safety seal is only good for 6 months for the first issuance. But for the tourism enterprises, because the tourism industry has also some kind of another requirement, so the validity for the first issuance is 1 year. However, for the DOLE, if we will have to reissue or renew your safety seal, it could be 1 year already. So the validity will be 1 year for the reissuance or the renewal. Sige, next slide. Okay, this is how our safety seal looks like. Maybe you will say, pangit naman ang safety seal na yan. Don't you worry, because the Bureau of Working Conditions is actually working on how to improve the appearance of our safety seal. But for now, that will be the safety seal that we will be issuing to all our companies covered. We have actually prepared some of the safety measures to be added to our safety seal aside from the QR code and our safety seal number, our date of issuance, our validity. We have actually included signature of the issuing regional director or issuing officer and particular code, series code, so that if one company will copy a particular safety seal and place that one at any of the entrance points in the company, and then we will validate whether the code is legal, and we will find out that it's illegal, and so that company will face, of course, disciplinary action from our end. Our safety seal cannot be copied, of course can be copied, but can be validated. That's why we will add safety measures to it. Next slide. I told you a while ago that it's not only Department of Labor and Employment that issues safety seals. So please, eyes on the board, because if your company belongs to any of the issuing authorities, you will go there to apply for safety seal. So for Department of Tourism, all their accredited enterprises and establishments, accommodation, travel and tour services, meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, restaurants and inside hotels and resorts. Pero ito po sila ang lahat na accredited ng DOT. The rest of those not accredited, iba rin yung magbibigay sa kanila ng safety seal, mag-i-issue sa kanila ng safety seal. So, wala na tayong problema sa Department of Tourism. I hope people here who are covered by Department of Tourism, you understand that you will be applying with Department of Tourism, not with the DOLE. So for the DOLE, sino-sino, ano-anong company po ang covered ng DOLE? Manufacturing, including mining, and plantation and other extractive manufacturing. Construction sites. I understand there are construction companies here, so you're covered by DOLE. Utilities, electric, water, gas, air conditioning, supplies, sewers, waste management, and others, and the like. Information and communication companies, publication, news, movie production, warehouses. So these are all the establishments covered by Department of Labor and Employment, only for safety seal. By the way, don't be confused. Safety seal is a separate and is an independent program. When it comes to inspection and the safety, the occupational safety and health standards, which Sir Dennis has discussed with you a while ago, bali, lahat po kayo na private establishments under po ng DOLE. So baka sabihin nyo, ay, hindi na pala kami, kasi DOT kami, hindi na pala kami covered ng DOLE, hindi na pala kami inspect ng DOLE. No, covered pa rin kayo for regular inspection, complaint inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, if for example, there are accidents happening in your area. However, for the safety seal, this is independent, this is a separate program. Ito lang po ang hindi lahat na establishments na private covered ng DOLE. I hope you understand that. And this safety seal also has a different timelines. Iba po yung timeline ng safety seal. Iba yung timeline ng regular inspection, ng compliance with safety, occupational safety and health standards. Iba po yung compliance ng investigation. Iba rin po yung compliance time ng safety seal. Huwag niyo pong halo-haloin, huwag po kayong confuse. Sige, next slide po. Department of Trade and Industry, groceries, supermarkets, membership shopping clubs. So hindi po sa amin yung SNR. Gusto ko pa naman magpunta ng SNR sa Cagayan de Oro. So wala pong SNR dito, pero meron tayong SM, meron tayong Robinsons, meron tayong I think all the provinces in Caraga region have supermarkets, groceries. Covered po iyan ng Department of Trade and Industries. Convenience stores, construction supply. For the hardware stores and construction supply stores, covered po iyan ng Department of Trade and Industry, but the construction sites are covered by DOLE. Logistics service providers, barbershops and saloons, service and repair shops. DTI po yan. Local government unit, ito na yung local government unit, malls. So yung mall per se, example, SM Mall as a whole, covered po yan ng local government unit or city government. However, for a particular grocery with separate business permit, covered po yan ng DTI. So huwag kayong malito. Malls, wet markets, other retail stores, restaurants, outside hotel resorts, fast food, eateries, coffee shops, banks, other companies, other establishments not accredited by DOT, because we have here restaurants or hotels, resorts. Sabi niyo kanina, ma'am, bakit nilagay yan sa local government unit? These are restaurants not accredited by DOT. So they are covered by the local government unit. So try to see your establishment where you belong. Next slide. Ito na yung Department of Interior and Local Government or the Philippine National Police. Dito po kami nako-cover. City halls, municipal halls, provincial capitals, all other local government units, police, provincial and district jails, all other public establishments and government agencies. So covered po kami ng Department of Interior and Local Government. Sige. Now, questions regarding the issuing authorities. Next slide na po tayo para matapos na tayo. What are the eligibility? I'm talking about establishments covered by the Department of Labor and Employment. But more or less, these eligibility requirements are the same with that of the DOT and other issuing agencies. However, there are particular, as what I told you, there are particular requirements of the agency, particularly the checklist that will be issued by that issuing authority. Sige, compliance with the registration accreditation mayor's permit, use of the staysafe.ph, and then our public health standards. Next slide. So I think you know this one, and I know that many of you have practiced already your hand washing stations, soap, sanitizers, and the rest. Your observance of the physical distancing and no blockage, and your adequate air exchange, your proper ventilation, especially if it's indoor, and your guidelines for the ventilation of workplace and public transport to prevent and control the spread of COVID-19 is already followed in your workplaces. I hope during inspection that we will see people with proper meter, physical distance in your workplaces. Hindi po yung para sila mga suso. And if, for example, they are in the air-conditioned places, there are our Department Order 22421 tells you things to do, how to maintain your ventilation in the workplace. Sige, next slide. Next slide na po tayo, Engineer Christian. All right, disinfection protocol of the DOH, you know that. I'll just tell you, if you have probable case or reported case in your establishment, please report it immediately to your BHERT or the nearest health office. Coordinate, your safety officer has to coordinate with DOH immediately for you to follow the guidelines on cleaning and disinfection and other safety measures, safety protocols. The wearing of face mask, face shield. There are other companies with protective outer garments. They mandate their workers, especially for the manufacturing companies. Meron talaga mga workers na magsusuot na mga bodysuit, complete suit. Not all, but there are. So you know all of those. Next slide. Okay, so we have our safety officer, see, who will coordinate with the appropriate bodies, undertake control of the COVID-19 status in your establishment, like contact tracing and others, and then monitor the health of our employees, particularly those isolated. And we have facility for proper storage, collection, and treatment and disposal of our PPEs. Now, you might wonder why some of the occupational safety and health standards are required in this safety seal certification, although this is a separate and independent program. However, most or majority of our occupational safety and health standards requirements are also incorporated in the safety seal. One, your safety officer. And even in your emergency medicine cabinet, for example, you will be required of isolation facility, isolation room. Now, for goodness gracious sake, your isolation facility has no chair, no water, no emergency medicines. What kind of isolation facility is that? So meaning, even if you are not told here to prepare over-the-counter medicines, of course, that is included in your inspection. Halimbawa, there is an employee with 38 degrees. Yung kanyang, what's this, temperature. So what will he do in the isolation room? Magtindog lang ba siya dito, or he will stand for 8 hours and then no chair, wala rin siyang mainit na tubig or something that he can take in, wala ba siyang paracetamol? So that is included, incorporated. And even 5S is incorporated in your requirement sa safety seal. C, facility for proper storage, collection, and treatment of disposal. That is cleanliness. That's 5S under the wage board, RTWPB. Again, this is not occupational safety and health standards, but most of the requirements of OSH are incorporated in our safety seal. So we will be giving checklist. Ito na yung checklist natin. Now, if you're interested, of course, we are actually encouraging all the establishments to apply for the safety seal, but this is actually not really mandated. We are just encouraging you para naman lahat ng mga tao is safe na magpunta sa establishment ninyo. But we have still to monitor whether how many establishments covered by DOLE will apply for this. So we will be giving a checklist. Sige, Sir Christian, pakita mo yung checklist sa next slide. We will be issuing checklist, and then we have also prepared a safety seal microsite. Ito yung safety seal microsite ninyo where you can apply. Our safety seal site has implementing guidelines in it, checklist for the establishment, and then it has also application inquiries button, and then good that if you will apply, you will be issued already with safety seal, makikita po sa buong Pilipinas na kayo ay issued na with safety seal kasi you will be included in the list of all establishments issued with safety seal. Makikita po nila na yung establishment ninyo kasali na po. Alright, we will be giving you the copy of the safety seal certification program. We will course through it kay Christian po sa OSHC. Pero more or less, na-discuss na po natin lahat kung ano yung laman ng safety seal. Okay, ito po yung checklist, pero for you to access po this one, you will just have to log in. May site po tayo para kayo maka-apply. So next slide po, we will tell you how to apply for the safety seal. Sige po, Sir Christian. Okay. So yan na po yung approved logo natin. That will be given to you. Sige po. Again, our safety seal logo has safety seal number. Yung sinabi ko kanina. We have validity and the date of issuance and your QR code, the logo of the issuing agency, and we will include the signature of the regional director and other safety measures. So how to apply? You go to https://reports.dole.gov.ph. Doon po kayo mag-apply if you want to apply online. So we will be prompted with your application, by your application, and we will process your application. We will go to your establishment. We will inspect. We will do an on-site inspection for you to be given safety seal. In-person application should be assisted by the ROs or the POs. So if you really want to apply personally or hindi yung nasa reports at PH yung online, you can go to our provincial offices. Pero sa ngayon kasi is very strict ang ating local government units. So I understand we are still under MECQ. So better apply online. For guidelines on online processing application for safety seal, refer to Annex A. We will also provide you that. So all establishments compliant with the JMC are eligible to apply for the safety seal. Also, with the inspected establishments and did not apply for the safety seal, actually, all of you that are interested to apply for the safety seal, you can apply. As long as you are willing to comply with all the requirements stated in the checklist, all the indicators there, you are willing to apply, you are eligible for the safety seal certification. Next. I'm almost done. All establishments applying for the safety seal shall be inspected within 3 days upon receipt of the request. So if we are prompt of your application sa DOLE, we will have an initial evaluation of your documents. And so if, for example, there are lacking documents, we will call you and then we will assist you how to comply with all of those. And then after 3 days or within 3 days, we will schedule the on-site inspection. So ano pong hahanapin namin? Business registration, the use of your stay safe or any contact tracing, your compliance with the public health standards, and the name and contact number of your safety officer. All of this will be included in the checklist. There is a checklist for you to fill out. Sige, next slide na po tayo. All findings shall be reflected in the monitoring checklist, and the notice of results shall be issued by the labor inspector to the establishment. You will also comply with the lacking requirements if there are lacking requirements. And if none, of course, you will be found compliant. The inspection team or the labor inspector will recommend to the regional director for the issuance of your safety seal. Valid for 6 months. And you can actually use your safety seal in your communications, in your, you will be placed at the entrance of your establishments, and any use of your safety seal that the people can see and will know that your establishment is safe, and so you can use it. Sige. Next slide na po tayo. The regional director shall issue safety seal certificate printed or in digital form. Pwede pong pwede namin siyang ipadala, pwede ring you will download it, or we can also give you really a hard copy. This is really a seal. We will mail that to you, but as soon as we will give you or we will issue, you will be approved for the safety seal. The soft copy of that will immediately be emailed to you para magagamit niyo siya kaagad. So the issuance of the safety seal is per establishment and per location basis. So if you will ask me, ma'am, if our central office has already been issued a safety seal, will all of our branches be covered? Answer is no, hindi po, because it's per location basis, per business permit po. Kasi ang safety po natin ay hindi nadadala from the Manila people to the Caraga people. It should always be at a particular work site. So ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina. We will discuss that in detail kasi diniscuss ko na yan, yung safety seal natin. Next slide na po tayo, engineer. Alright. So kami na po yung magdedetermine kung kayo ay under the manufacturing, the construction, the utilities, the information and communications, warehouse. We will be issuing codes, particular codes for us to track and to validate the safety seal, and also for the use of the QR code, the establishment of the QR code, the generation of this QR code, para po ma-issue namin sa inyo yung inyong safety seal. Sige. Next slide po. Doon po tayo sa my complaints. So for example, next slide na po, Sir Christian. For example, you will be issued safety seal today, tomorrow. And then a complainant sends us communication the next day or after 2 days, stating that your establishment violated 2 of the minimum public health standards. Of course, your safety seal will be revoked upon validation and upon after the inspection, you will be found out to have really violated that particular safety standard or to have violated any of the requirements of the safety seal that is included or that are included in your checklist. So for the complaints, pag halimbawa nagko-complain po na hindi po covered ng DOLE, we will endorse that complaint to the right agencies. So that's the no wrong door policy. So proper lang po tayo kung ano po yung sa DOLE, doon po tayo magko-complain. So for the renewal, the safety seal may be renewed not earlier than 1 month before its expiration. So pareho pa rin siya. Establishment shall contact the issuing authority, tapos mag-verify pa rin yung issuing authority. The establishment, if found compliant, will be issued a renewed safety seal. And then if there are violations or deficiencies, mag-comply muna yung establishment bago siya marirenew. Okay. Sige, next slide. Revocation. Hindi po basta-basta ma-revoke or makukuha yung inyong safety seal pag wala itong apat. So, name and location of the establishment, particular public health standard violated or substantial description thereof, or the public health standards violated based on our checklist, based on our requirement po ng safety seal. Pag wala pong name and contact number of the complainants, hindi po siya i-entertain. Klaro po yun. Hindi po katulad ng complaint inspection na kahit anonymous complaint po, i-validate po ng Department of Labor and Employment, especially if it pertains to wages and other statutory benefits. I-validate po siya. Pero itong sa safety seal, pag wala pong complete name and complete contact number of complainants, hindi po namin siya i-entertain. Pag wala pong supporting proof. So dapat substantial po ang complaint because this is very critical. You are actually telling people that this establishment is violating something, and this violation has something to do with public minimum health standards, and that amounts to revocation of the safety seal. So hindi lang pwede basta-basta kung sino-sino lang ang mag-complaint dyan. It has to be a name and contact number and all other proof or evidences of the complaint. Number 2, upon receipt or referral, number 2 pa tayo, sorry po. Previous slide po. Upon receipt or referral of valid complaint, kakanak po kami ng surprise inspection sa complaint establishment. And so if you will be found really violating, the safety seal will be revoked. Willful violation of any public minimum health standards. Pero, next slide. Pero, if you will really be found, what's this? If you will really be found violating, you will also be given time to explain or time to comply with that violation. So the presence of the safety officer will facilitate the contact tracing, disinfection, isolation, or referral will be heard for presence of OSH committee if, for instance, the establishment is found violating any of the public minimum health standards. See, next slide po. All right. So, ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina, you will be given time to explain how much time is given to an establishment to comply. You will be given a notice to explain by DOLE, and then within 48 hours, you will be given time to submit to us your compliance. So, if the explanation merits our approval, based on the guidelines and based on the checklist, of course, you will be given, again, your safety seal. Ibabalik po sa inyo yung nakukuha po namin or na-revoke po na safety seal. If you will comply with the requirements po. So again, 48 hours. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Sa regular inspection, you are given 10 days to comply with wages and other statutory benefits deficiencies. For the safety, di ba, you are given 90 days for those, especially those standards that are needing for you to establish. Medyo matagal-tagal, 90 days. Hindi lang po yung yung PPE because you are only given 3 days. Iba po yung kanyang timeline. Di ba? So sa rin sa OSHI din iba. So within 24 hours, you have to report your accident to DOLE. And within 24 hours, that case should be heard. Dapat may mandatory conference kagad. Iba-iba po yung timeline. Don't be confused. Ito pong revocation, you are just given 48 hours for you to comply. If you can't comply, your safety seal will be given back to you. Okay, I think I'm done already. I'm done already. Next slide is nanayan siya. O, di ba? Next slide na po tayo. Next slide. O, di ba? Tapos na ako. Final provisions na. End of presentation. Now, I'd like to reiterate that the safety seal is actually not mandatory. However, we feel we are mandated to encourage all of you, all establishments, to seek and to get a safety seal for us to have a safe workplaces. Still, this is still anchored on safety for all. And again, safety is non-negotiable. And COVID-19 is already threatening our safety. And not only, this is not only actually the occupational safety and health standards that is tantamount to losing our lives. So please, if you are covered by the Department of Labor and Employment, and even if not covered by the Department of Labor and Employment, still you have to apply to the right agency that can issue you the safety seal. Again, one, for us to be insured of our safety when we go to establishment, and second, safety is non-negotiable. Thank you very much, and I hope you get everything from my presentation. If you have questions, I'm very much willing to answer all of those. Good afternoon po.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So, ma'am will stay with us for your questions. So,
No problem
si
po. I'm
Engineer,
still here.
thank you very much, ma'am. Si Engineer Dennis ay may pupuntahan pa. So, unahin natin ang open forum. So, kung sino yung gusto magtanong na ngayon, sige, you may unmute yourselves and ask directly. Hello? Walang gustong magtanong?
Hello. Sagutin ko yung isang nag-ask doon sa chat. Kasi pagkakaiba ng lumabas yung bastos at saka yung aeroplano. Actually, noon yun. But with this DO-198, kahit saan covered na kayo ng DOLE. Before kasi ba DO-198, ganun pumapasok yung jurisdiction. Whenever the bus is on the way or nasa road, they will be under the DOTR. Whenever the bus is on the terminal, you're under the Department of Labor. Ngayon, kahit nasaan na kayo, kahit nasa aeroplano ka, you are now all covered by DO-198. Yun lang isang clarification na nakita ko rin sa iba. Okay. So, meron ding isang nagtanong sa akin, how about yung saan nakakuha ng power yung DOLE in issuing the work stoppage. So, innate po yung sa DOLE to issue work stoppage whenever it is necessary because it will endanger the life of the worker. Kaya nasa power po yun ng Secretary of Labor to issue a work stoppage once there is kasi stated naman yun doon sa preamble ng ating Philippine Constitution at saka yung mga sinabi ko kanina, di ba? That it is guaranteed na yung safety and health of a worker whenever he is or her is within the work area, dapat siya ay protektado. Okay? Any other questions? Sir Moises de los Reyes, nakatas ang kamay po nyo.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Yes.
Sir, klaro ko lang po yung sa accreditation ng practitioner and consultant. So, sa bagong batas po kasi natin, we are categorized as SO1 to SO4.
Yeah.
So, I remember nung last time po na umattend ako ng NOS Congress, I think 2018, dito sa PICC, ang Vision, isa sa mga programa nila is Vision 1 million. So yung Vision 1 million po ba, yun po ba yung mga accredited practitioners
No,
na plano ng...
Not necessary. You can be an OS practitioner. You can be an OS safety officer even though you are not accredited. Before the law, nung last Congress natin, signed pa lang yung law. I think it is signed. And during that time, 90 days after, lumabas yung IRR, the DO-198. So sa DO-198, kinlassified according to risk. Na kaya, instead of practitioner, they are SO1 to SO4. So you just have to imagine, huwag na niyong pahirapan yung sarili niyo. I don't discourage you, but you can still apply. Hindi na po nire-required ng DOLE yung accredited. Okay? At the same time, if you want to have a consultant, yung consultant is just only good for a 1-year services. Okay? Kasi yung iba para to lessen the number of safety officer, they hire a consultant which is now an SO4. Sinabi rin kasi doon sa DO-198 na yung SO4 or yung consultant can only work only for one year. But doon sa 1 year na yon, meron siyang dapat gawing programa para sa pagte-train ng mga safety officer. Maliwanag po ba yon? Okay, sir, nasagot ko ba? O si Mr. Edward Tubera.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sir Edward, tanong.
Yes sir, good afternoon po. Follow-up question doon sa sa tinanong ni Sir Moises. Sa part kasi namin, matagal na rin kami nag-prospect as to be practitioner. Last time kasi, ang sabi ng DOLE, sabi ng OSH, kokonti lang po yung practitioners natin. So hinahabol natin. And all of a sudden, ang sabi naman ngayon, para nang hindi na relevant ang pagiging practitioner ngayon sa panahon na to. I'm just asking questions po to enlighten the situation. Kasi kami mga safety officers, parang ang nangyari na lang po kasi is set aside na kayo. Ang nangyari is kung sino yung appointed as safety practitioner, safety officer 3 ng company, so sila na yung may mandate. What about po naman yung pinaghirapan natin na marating yung ating kalagayan ngayon na naghirap din naman yung mga karamihan po sa atin na targetin yung pagiging practitioner and consultant, and all of a sudden wala na pong wala na ng merit, hindi na siya hindi na siya
actually said Edward Yaba. Merited pa rin yung practitioner. So in the same way, syempre, you could be proud kasi you're been accredited by DOLE. But as for the meantime, yung sinabi ko na you don't need to be unaccredited. So we only accredit people who could help DOLE. Di ba? Kasi wala nang requirement ng accreditation. Ano naman magiging pakinabang ng DOLE sa'yo? So what we are saying is, we will giving you as a practitioner, but in return, you need to co-implementor ng batas ng DOLE. Di ba? Co-implementor ka kasi na-credit ka namin safety officer, but actually it's not required. Dati kasi wala nag-a-apply. Yan, tama yan. And that is one of the clamor nung mga partner natin, the worker and the employer. Why you kept on accrediting wherein wala man nag-a-apply? Kaya nga naging decision nila, we just have to designate a safety officer para hindi na kayo mahirapan magpa-accredit. Ngayon, yung ina-accredit din namin, if you want really to be unaccredited, you are at least a speaker of this safety training organization. And if you want to be a consultant, you are somewhat needed, di ba? Be able to formulate naman to formulate a program. Hindi naman yung i-accredit ka namin consultant. Tatanong ko sa iyo, paano ba ang trabaho ng isang consultant? Wala kang masabi. Tapos tatanungin ko, how can you be a practitioner? How can you help Dole? Wala rin siyang masabi. Diba, for your information, nowadays, ngayon, ako na yung head ng accreditation on construction. Pag mag-a-apply ka naman, siguraduhin mo namang alam mo yung batas. Hindi po yan na propaganda lang, pampakapal ng wallet because of the ID. Diba? Kasi ano yung magiging pakinabang namin sa iyo? Binigyan ka namin ng lisensya, ano naman may tutulong mo sa amin? And yet, hindi na naman din talaga kailangan. Ngayon, if those company would designate you an SO3, just see to it that you are compliant with the requirement, or else you will be charged by misrepresentation. And misrepresentation, I think, was about 50 or 60,000 per day. Kaya yung mga HR, hindi ka rin dapat basta-basta magde-designate ng safety officer. Dapat may minimum requirement ka. At least may boss at saka may cause. So pagka SO3, at least yung minention ko kanina. By the way, hindi ko po kanina na ipakita yung whole presentation ko, but on the latter part nandoon yung penalties. Yeah, we also accept accreditation. Kasi yung ibang mga multinational company, inilagay na ngayon doon sa kanilang appointment should be accredited by DOLE. So kaya wala kaming choice but to accredit. Okay po. May tanong pa kayo, Sir Edward?
So far, wala pa naman, sir.
Sige, any other question? I can accept at least 10 questions pa before I go to my next appointment. So, yes.
Good afternoon po, Engineer. My question po dito,
Yes.
I have a chemical technician PRC license and I've finished my diploma in chemical engineering and technology. How many years needed for me to be qualified to apply for an OSH practitioner?
So for you have first to take the mandatory course, which is the 40 hours training, the 40 hours. Then you can earn it with at least 2 years experience. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, kasi sa ulado yun, kasi ibang to at least 2 years experience practicing occupational safety. At least 2 years. For you to be a consultant, meron na number of training and number of training required for you to be able to be a everyone who had finished the boss or course can be designated as automatically as SO2. For the SO1, anyone who graduated and finished the 8 hours and 2 hours of TOT will be automatically SO2. But again, hindi po kaagad-agad yon. You should be first be appointed or designated by your HR. So, yung HR, titingnan lang yung mga experience mo, tapos na to, automatically you can be designated as an SO1 or an SO2. Okay? Ano yung sa tanong dito? Sorry hindi ko makita eh. Sir, counted ba as credential yung training? Yes, it can be counted depending doon sa evaluation ng evaluator namin. Kasi nowadays, kino-consider namin yung OSHA at saka NIBOS. Okay? People are kept on studying this NIBOS, but the question na itinatanong ko o tinatanong namin is basically on the OS book. Wala lang iba, wag na kayo magpakahirap niyan. You just have to comply with the speaker and study. what is on the book. Kasi hindi naman kami over and above dun eh. Hanggang dun lang tayo. Diba? Kung sasabihin mo experience, ano ba, it's counted as an experience, as a credit unit. But during the interview, doon na lang mag-concentrate sa Philippine laws on occupational safety, the DO13, the DO198, the O standard, the DO128, yan. Huwag na kayong magpakahirap nung ano. So kanina nga pala may nagtanong, ang isang tanong yung hierarch, ano? Hierarch. Sa SO1 may hierarch doon. Sa bagong module lang, boss, may hierarch din doon. So, tuturuan kayo doon sa hierarch doon. Yes, Ma'am Giselle, go. Ano pong tanong niyo?
Hi, sir. Yung question ko is dalawa po. If you are to conduct the hierarch, is it required that a safety officer should undergo safety program audit in order for him to conduct the hierarch or the risk assessment?
Not necessary. Not
necessary.
So, pwede basta ka natapos ka ng boss or kung boss, particularly. Sa course, hindi kami nagbabago eh.
Okay po.
Yung sa boss, may hierarchy doon. And siguro yung 5 days of attending is tantamount for you to lecture on your co-employee or particularly if you are designated safety officer. But for if you are speaking on the what we call the STO, yun hinahanap namin, hinahanap yun doon sa list of speaker na supposed to be magiging speaker nila. Ano yung mga training background nila.
Okay. Another question po is if a safety officer, if our delegated or our assigned safety officer, are they also authorized to conduct mga advanced training po, like for example, or parang in-depth training on LOTO, on scaffolding safety inspection, on workplace safety inspection? Pwede po ba silang mag-conduct ng ganon? Given kung may module na sila? At required po ba or at kailangan na meron na OSH practitioner sila or accredited OSH practitioner po sila ni Dole?
Okay. So you can conduct it naman internally within your company. If you already have a sufficient knowledge on the hierarchy internally. But when you conduct it publicly, meaning to say different establishment want to join you, yes, you conduct it. You can conduct it, but again, Dole will not honor it.
If I'm going to invite po a resource speaker po, what should we look for para makakandak po ng ganun?
I think that is one of the advanced course, ano. So basically, you go to the safety training organization, yung accredited namin, for them to conduct that your desired module.
Okay.
And ang dami na rin nila eh. For your information, marami na sila. But siyempre, with a cost. But if you can conduct it internally, and the one that will benefit is yung
workforce po namin.
Yung workers mo, kaya mo naman. Why? Why pa? Kasi number one, medyo may bayad yon and it will be hard for you. Ngayon, you can invite naman yung sabi mo kanina, an accredited or a consultant to conduct on your own. Pero they can only issue a certificate under your company name. Diba?
Yes,
but for the counting, kasi may iba dyan binibilang, gaya nito kanina.
Okay. Parang magiging, parang magiging accredited points po or yung CPP.
Sa pag-a-apply sa practitioner.
Yes po.
Consultant. Yes, in some, the nibos and the costs were being counted now. Kasi marami rin kasing peke niyan eh. But it will undergo a lot of scrutiny. Nabe-verify naman namin kung may boss or cost siya. Kasi marami na rin kasing ngayon na nakakakuha ng certificate doon sa University of Recto.
Pero if it's
Yes, ma'am.
pero po kung the certificate will come from the company lang namin, then there would be no problem for as long as we allow it and it was signed by the resource speaker. So no issue on that.
No issue that. Walang problema yun kasi it is a proactive type eh.
Okay.
You want to learn, you want to teach your worker with the new hierarchy. Wala po, hindi po kayo pag-agalitan ng dole. But again, ang katapat noon is pagka yung participant mo ay ginamit yon
Yes.
for their application for accreditation in other as a practitioner, as a consultant, it can be void.
Okay. Thank you for the answer, sir.
Yes. Sir Edward, taas ka ng kamay na naman. Tubera. Wala? Hindi pa naalis talaga.
Ay, sorry.
Wala na? Wala na? Ano ba yung mga tanong? May tanong po pa?
Engineer, meron pa po dyan po sa screen. Before, ang target po na namin ang target po is paramihan ang accredited OSH personnel. Tapos, nung dumami na po ang reason naman is marami na masyado. Like for myself po, nagpurso ako na maging SO3. Kaso gusto ko maging accredited sa OSH and DOLE. Meaning po ba na walang kwenta yung ginawa namin na pagpa-accredit kasi parang hindi nyo ni-recognize po ang accreditation ng SO3. Before then, ang explanation is may dalawang klaseng SO3, isang accredited at isang appointed ng company. Ngayon, ang explanation is only the company appointed SO3 ang recognized at wala na pong kwenta ang accreditation po. Just asking, sir, kasi parang bumaba naman ang tingin natin sa mga accredited personnel po ngayon. Para namang na-down naman kami ng husto sa pagod at hirap namin para makarating sa pagiging SO3. No bad intention, just asking lang po.
Yes, parang ayan yung tanong ni Edward kanina. Hindi naman nga namin inalis yung accreditation. Nandoon pa rin. You can apply. You can pursue up to SO4. But the mere fact, ang sinasabi ko, hindi na yan nire-required ng company. Kasi hindi naman po kami nag-alis niya. Ang nag-alis po niya na yung tripartite. Di ba? Hindi po kami nag-alis. The accreditation, I think, is still in place. Ang dami pa nga ngayon nagpapa-accredit. Pero what I'm saying, DOLE is not requiring those practitioners to be, those SO3 to be accredited. Kasi kami rin yung nahihirapan eh. Nahihirapan din kami noon wala nag-a-apply. Ngayon, biglang dami. Parang yung kasabihan, ayun na si Miguel. Pigilan mo, gigil na gigil, hayaan mo't nakatigil. So, we still give credit to the practitioner and the SO4. But again, what I'm saying is, hindi na kinakailangan ng DOLE, the DOLE per se, yung accredited. Okay? So, pero hindi dito kami. You can still apply for accreditation. Kasi nga yung iba nga, yung yung mga malalaking kumpanya, ayaw na rin nilang, gusto nilang makasigurado. So that's why they are hiring a practitioner and a consultant. Kasi kung sila pa rin naman kasi yung mag-i-screen, di ba? Nahihirapan din sila. You will just be basing kasi nga sabi natin, marami nga diyang fly-by-night na training organization that they issue. Okay? I hope you satisfy yung ano. So, hindi po namin dinidegrade yung practitioner at saka yung consultant. You can still apply. You can and then syempre, taas nilang pagtingin sa'yo. Automatic, kahit hindi ka i-designate ng company mo. Automatic, SO3 ako. SO3 ako. It could be a good credence dun sa application. Di ba? It's not our intention to downgrade as a consultant and accredited. At hindi rin po kami nag-alis niyan. The DOLE. Actually, siguro hindi nga lang nasabi ni Director kanina. Actually, he's inviting for those who want to be accredited. Okay? I hope nasagot ko yung tanong ninyo, sir.
Meron pa po dito, Engineer. If a company plan to extend its production plant, this is by means of construction of a new building. For the monthly COVID-19 prevention and control compliance report, the number of contractor of the new building will be included in the company WAER COVID-19 report, or it will be a separate WAER COVID-19 report?
Yes. Kasi ang sa DOLE walang walang bearing yun, dapat lahat even though it is a subcontractor. Some construction company, they also require their subcontractor to submit para hindi na rin silang mahirapan di ba? And then they just consolidate it and submit it to the DOLE. So makikita rin naman ninyo kanina doon sa Safety and Health Committee, pwedeng i-require ng general contractor yung subcontractor nila to have their own safety and health officer. So, parang mas mapapadali nila yung trabaho at mas mapapadali nila na ma-cascade yung programa, di ba? Yung programa ng general contractor among their subcontractor. Especially when we talk of personal protective equipment. Sometimes the GenCon have an availability of would have some problem in distributing them. The general contractor can coordinate with the safety officer and through them maibigay nila, disseminate nila yung kanilang mga personal protective equipment. Okay.
Meron pa po, Engineer. What if you are a certified SO3 of a company but you only, finish high school or college undergrad? Is there a chance to be a safety practitioner accredited by DOLE?
Maganda yung tanong mo. Kasi may na-accredit ako dyan elementary graduate. Pero medyo pinagaan pa rin yata ngayon with the 0198, di ba? Ang dami nga ngayon accredited safety and health officer coming from the medical sector, particularly nurses. Ang dami. Sa construction pumasok ka, yung mga safety officer nila nurse. Accredited pa, di ba? So, a lot of OFW is also applying for a safety officer. So, usually ang tanong namin, accredited safety practitioner ba is recognized abroad? Diba? That is one of our questions. Tapos, sir, kaya ako magpapa-credit, I want to stay here na in the Philippines for good. Diba? Eh, syempre, pakikita sa yung mga experience doon. May Nibos, may OSHA, diba? But again, sabi ko sa kanila, better first study yung local laws. Diba? Those experiencing or those who undergone the training will just come up later. Actually, wala namang din pagkakaiba. Diba? For your information, the number one problem of DOLE is yung reporting. Yung reporting, yung AEDR. Kung titingnan mo yung mga pinagpipil-upan nyo, matatawa ka eh. Iba't iba yung mga term na ipinapasok nila na you cannot even found on a direct dictionary. Diba? Kaya nga kami nag-conduct ng study and that's why DOLE, particularly BWC, is now revising the report. No. May tinanong nga ako na consultant. Itinanong ko lang, ano ba yung formula ng frequency rate? Sasabihin nila sa akin, hindi na ako nagagawa niyan. Will you accept that answer? Diba? How come you become a consultant, you do not know the formula of frequency rate and severity rate? How can you make your company compliant to DOLE? Yeah, that's the same question. Pauli-uli na lang ako. Diba? You come to us and you want to share your knowledge. How can you share your knowledge if you do not have anything knowledge about the law? Diba? That's the problem. For your information. Diba? Any other question?
Pwede pa ba kayo po, sir? May dalawa pa po dito sa link po ito ng mga questions.
Kahit 5.
Kahit 5. Okay. Okay. Punta tayo sa chat box.
Lana?
Meron po dito, engineer, sa chat box. Hello,
Ano?
sir. Regarding sa registry of establishment, Rule 1020, for example, already registered establishment, yung main office po namin.
No.
Require pa po bang panibagong registry of establishment sa construction site na ongoing construction?
Okay, a construction site is automatically registered if you have an approved safety and health program. If your construction do not have any construction program, you're still violating the law, di ba? Kasi sinabi ron, before you start the company construction or the construction, they need to have an approved safety and health program. I just do not know why they are afraid to have a safety and health program. So actually, DOLE have said it is free of charge. Di ba? Walang bayad po yung application ng construction safety and health program. Ayun nga lang, pagka medyo gusto mong mabilis na yung you go to the accredited or a consultant to prepare a safety and health program for you. Ayun yung trabaho, sir, ng mga accredited one. Pero it doesn't require na you go with them. Kung kaya mong gawin, why not?
Okay po. Sir, good afternoon. What is the difference between safety officer and safety engineer?
Okay, maganda yung tanong mo, ano? Dito po sa atin, sa Pilipinas, wala pang BS on Occupational Safety. BS Engineering, di ba? And that's why gaya nga ang ginawa ng DO-198, safety officer na, wala ng safety engineer. Wala pa pong approved curriculum that make you a safety engineer. So that's why ang ginawa namin, ginawa doon sa DO-198 is safety officer. And being a safety officer, any BS or any, even nga kanina, an elementary can be a safety officer. Medyo pinaluag na rin nga po kasi para marami no yung makapag-comply. 'Di ba? Kasi pagka ginawa mong accredited, yan, mahirap na mag-comply kasi nga it is also the clamor of the tripartite group. Alsin na po natin yung mga practitioner at saka consultant na yan. Hindi po kami may gusto noon. But again, inuulit ko, it still remain yung accreditation. Kung bukas you're compliant with the one listed on the on our website for B2B SO3, why don't you do so? Di ba? Madali pa rin yung accredited, pero nga sasabihin ko naman sa iyo, sagutin mo naman yung aming mga tanong. Actually, wala lang ang examination akong ginagawa eh. If you could express yourself or deliver yung what we are asking, why not? Ba't hindi kita accredit? Di ba? Pero kung kami pa yung magtuturo sa iyo na ganito at ganito, hindi na kailangan yung practitioner. So that is ang benepisyo naman ng mga accredited guy. Yung sabi ko sa inyo, he or she can be a speaker of the safety training organization, di ba? Saka medyo mataas yung rango mo kaysa ang SO3 kasi yung gobyerno yung nagbigay sa iyo ng lisensya, hindi yung establishment. Di ba? So, you can demand for a higher wage if you can, but actually not a requirement.
Okay po, Engineer. Last po na question po para sa iyo. Sir, just want to ask, I am a pollution control officer, but at the same time, I am working as safety officer. I have also a training course, 1 PM high-rack, chemical safety, fire safety, confined space and scaffolding, but I don't have appointment as a safety officer. Pwede po bang magpa-accredit ako as an SO3 po?
Tanong mo, is he or she performing as a safety officer in their establishment? Kung siya ay perform as safety NL, so you can apply. Pero kung wala sa appointment mo, how can we see yung experience mo na 2 years? Di ba? Hindi namin makikita yung experience mo as 2 years, di ba? Yun yung problema. But if you have on a previous company that you are being serving, meron kang experience doon, pwede. Kasi ang hinihingi doon sa requirement, meron ka nung AMR, meron ka nung AEDR, yung recent and a certification for the company that you are really performing as a safety officer. Then that will be your next problem. Di ba?
Okay na po, Ma'am Jackie Dumagit.
Question, if you are a qualified safety officer 3 but you are recognized as an SO2 or an SO3, maybe you can demand a higher wage. Di ba? You can demand for a higher wage. Ewan ko lang kung may magpapasweldo sa'yo. Di ba? Actually, ang objective po nito ay maparami yung tumutulong sa ating kapwa manggagawa para sa kanilang kaligtasan at kalusugan. Di ba? Tandaan po nyo, yung safety and health officer is not a livelihood. Huwag ninyong turing na livelihood yun. It's more on a public service. Diba? Kung gusto mo ng livelihood, magtayo ka ng FTO. Diba? Pero in the same way, you also help yung other company to comply kasi nagtayo ka ng FTO. Diba? Ayun ang isipin ninyo. Wala po yumaman na safety officer. Wala rin po yumaman na safety engineer. Di ba? At hindi man naman talaga kayaman-yaman yan. It's more on a public service. Di ba? You question other people. Once you question them, it's not for you, it's for them. Di ba? Sasabihin, oy, bakit wala kang hard hat? Di ba? Ganyan tanong mo. Bakit kung nag-hard hat ba ako, kikita ka? Hindi. Pero sinasagip mo siya kung saan mang klase ng kapahamakan. Okay? Yun lang yung siguro konting maiaambag ko sa inyo na hindi kaya yaman dito sa pagiging safety officer. Yes, you can eat 3 times a day, but you cannot make your snack kasi kulang yung sweldo mo. Papakain mo yung pamilya mo 3 beses ang araw, sagot sa akin ng isa kong katukayo, sir, gusto ko magmerienda. That would be the problem. Diba? Safety and health officer is more on a public service. Wala. Hindi kaya yaman dito. Sabi ko sa'yo. Maging may-ari ka ng kumpanya, baka sakali.
Okay po. Thank you po, Engineer. My question po dito para kay Ma'am Annie. Hello, Ma'am, Sir. Pwede po ba makahingi ng link kung saan pwede mag-complain regarding salary, compensation, and iba pa?
Katawanan man. Although it's not really
Thank you very much. I hope makabalik uli ako dyan.
Oo nga eh.
By the way, next year meron tayong GKK. At saka ina-advise ko nga pala lahat to attend our NOS Congress. Meron ng date po yung NOS Congress natin. It is from November 23 to 25. Ang maganda po dito, again, libre. Okay? Again, on a first come, first serve basis lang ulit. Libre po yun. It is a 3 days OS Congress. Virtual din po yun. Okay? Thank you very much po. Nandiyan po pala kayo.
Kikinig ako, ang daming papel eh. And to PSSD Chief Annie Tangpos, Engineer Hagit and team, MC Miss Maria Eunice Lauro, and of course all the participants. Salamat po ng marami for sacrificing your time and attending. Thank you po.
Speaker.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I need to leave kasi may appointment. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Maraming pong salamat, RD.
Yes. Where is Engineer Hagit to do the closing statement? Meron pa pala. Meron pa isa.
Opo, RD.
Okay.
Last speaker po, Ma'am Chon.
Yes,
Can we
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Pwede na po, Ma'am Annie.
Sige, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Okay po. Let's call on our last topic speaker. He is an OSH practitioner in construction industry, a nurse by profession. He is among the safety training organization resource speaker and the safety officer of Equiparco. Let's welcome, virtual welcoming of Mr. Joseph G. Caputol. Sir Joseph, good afternoon. Sir
Yes, ma'am. Good
Joseph.
afternoon po. Good afternoon po. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Okay po ba yung ano ko? Madidinig po ba?
Yes po.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga participants. Ang ganda ng mga tanungan. Ano? So sa lahat ng participants na taga Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao, magandang hapon kay Executive Director Noel C. Binag, kay Ma'am Chona Mantilla, Regional Director, at kay Sir Dinis at Ma'am Ann. At especially po kay si Engineer Christian Hagit na in-invite ako dito. It's my pleasure. Salamat po sa pag ng time. I-discuss ko po ngayon ay yung best practice in construction, especially sa aming company. So before we go, magpi-play muna tayo ng isang ginawa nating slide video presentation.
Sir, wala pong sound yung video nyo. Sir, wala pong sound yung video nyo. Sir Joseph, wala po sound yung video nyo. Sir, i-share sound nyo daw, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Share sound daw, sir. Doon. At tapos na yung video nyo, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Kasi wala yung sound kanina, sir.
Wala.
Wala po.
Okay, sige. Pero ko naman, na-activate ko naman yung ko. Hindi ko naman na-mute.
Okay po.
Sige, tuloy na po tayo. So, my topic is best practice in construction. So, our company is promoting positive culture in terms of safety and health in every workplace. So, kasama na dito yung safety officer. Yung safety officer natin is trained and certified course holder. So, plus may 2 hours na TOT. So, ang pagiging safety officer is not only for compliance, commitment ito. Dapat alam natin yung trabaho natin as being a safety officer in our company, no? Kasi tayo yung nagpo-promote sa company na maiwasan yung mga aksidente or mag-advise tayo kung ano ang mas mabuti. And then sa committee, may dalawang committee kami. Central Committee, yung sa pinaka-main office, at yung sa subcommittee, yung sa mga project site na yan. No? May iba't ibang nakatalaga dyan. So, sa training and seminars and drills, mayroon kaming fire drill, earthquake drill. Yung fire drill namin is every 6 months siya. Tapos, every quarter din, yung mandatory 8 hours post orientation course as required for workers. So ginagawa natin yan as by the law. So sa site naman, mayroon tayong workers welfare facilities. Binibigay natin yung tamang pasilidad para makapagpahinga sila ng maayos, makakain, makainom ng malinis. Mayroon din tayong emergency prepared and response team kung may problema sa site, no? May mga posted signage and emergency hotline for emergency situation. So sa site clinics and first aider, every bank houses mayroon tayong site clinics and first aider. So minomonitor natin din yung mga tao natin sa kanilang alta presyon or BP monitoring. Nag-implement din tayo ng mga 5As. Naglalagak tayo ng road signs. Yung mga road signs natin is yung tinatawag na retro-reflective signages. Yung mga umiilaw, nagre-reflect yung mga ng lights. No? Tapos toolbox, pre-task briefing, site patrolling, inspection, isa ito sa pinaka-importante na ginagawa ng isang safety officer at ng yung sa operation para matakol yung mga problema sa site, even if walang problema. It's a refreshing sa isip ng mga tao. No? Safety orientation for new worker, ang ginagawa namin dito is kung may bagong mga workers na nag-a-apply, kailangan talaga ng orientation, no? At examination as malalaman natin kung ano talagang capacity nila sa kanilang especially sa safety. Tapos PP issuance free for charge, no? Sinabi yan kanina ni Sir Dennis sa OS legislation. Kailangan free for charge. So dapat yung minimum requirements lang, no? Kung kailangan ng isang workers. Tapos mayroon din tayo previously team sports and individual sports once a week. Dati yan. Kasi ngayon wala nang pinairal natin kasi may COVID. Bawal yung mga team sports. Sa COVID-19 naman, ine-implement natin namin yung COVID-19 interim guidelines provided by DOLE, DTI-ITF, and DPWH. Nakalagay dyan daily COVID-19 surveillance checklist, foot bath, work area disinfection, physical distancing, wearing of mask, and facial and sanitation regularly, provision of company vehicle. Yung provision of company vehicle natin, so if ever na ang mga worker ay uuwi or magtatrabaho, hinahatid yan sila door-to-door or work-to-work areas natin. So reward and award, yung sinasabi natin na reward and award, ito yung mga nagbibigay tayo ng certifications at monetary for worker who are showing and promoting safety to their own and to the workplace. Yung ina-assure talaga nila yung sarili nila at pinopromote yung culture ng safety sa workplace natin. So magpapakita tayo ng ilang mga picture dito para makikita natin kung ano ang ginagawa ng site namin. So sa toolbox meeting, ito po yung ginagawa namin. Every day po ito. kahit walang issue or concern sa site. Ina-appreciate natin kung natatapos yung trabaho na walang aksidente, or even if may aksidente, kailangan natin i-discuss talaga para hindi na mag-flip. So, Health and Safety Monthly Coordination Meeting. So, ako naman yung tinatalagang head dito sa project site namin. So, may mga safety officer din ako na nakatalaga sa every project site, yung individual project code. So, may mga safety officer tayo. Tapos, 8 hours mandatory occupational safety and health orientation course for worker. So, nagkakandak tayo ng orientation, 8 hours. Quarterly. Tapos, induction for newly hired worker. Ito yung mga bago. Ino-orient natin. Tapos, PPE releasing, free for charge, yung kanina sinasabi natin. Tapos roadworthy signs. Ito po yung sinasabi ko na retro-reflectorized signages at metal bars ang ginagamit. Hindi na yung dati na trapal at saka yung kahoy ang frame niya. Madaling masisira at hindi pang standard talaga. Ito, pinafollow natin to sa Department Order number 13 ng DPWH na kailangan yung mga bollards natin is concrete at yung mga signages natin is retro-reflectorized sticker as per standard. So 5 is implementation, may weekly clean up drive sa mga sites and bunkhouses natin. So cleaning at same thing. Office disinfection, ito naman yung every Sunday na ginagawa namin dito, weekly siya, no? For prevention sa mga viruses na tinatawag natin na SARS-CoV, no? SARS-CoV-2. Tapos weekly surveillance checklist, no? May mga checklist tayo para sa mga workers. Mino-monitor natin ito sila. Sanitation and foot bath, same thing for COVID-19. Body temperature monitoring from office to site. Blood pressure monitoring for workers. So may first aid room din tayo every bunkhouses. Ito po yung sample ng isang bunkhouse na may first aid room at saka may first aider. Tapos may nakalagay tayong mga emergency hotline doon. No, in case of may major accident, makatawag tayo ng agad-agad. So, lastly, ang safety ay kapakanan ng bawat isa at ng lahat. So, Dirada Team Safety. Thank you. Yun lang po ang masishare ko sa company namin o yung ginagawa namin para ma-promote yung safety culture ng isang company. So far so good. Yung takbo ng company namin in about sa safety, okay naman po. Yun lang po ma'am. Maraming salamat.
Okay. Thank you po, Sir Joseph. Any question? Wala nang question? Wala nang question. Okay, lahat na naka-fill up ng evaluation. Kung wala ng question. Hello. Hello po. Lahat na naka-fill up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Tapos na po, ma'am.
So thank you po, Sir Joseph.
Yes po, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Salamat din po sa pag-invite. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for trusting me.
Thank you, sir.
Next time. Okay.
Okay po. So, we'll have our formal closing. Let's hear from our focal person here in Caraga region, no other than Engineer Christian Lee and Hagen.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am. So So since our deputy director in the Tomas is attending a closing meeting, so I know it's late now. So in behalf, I will do my closing remarks. So first of all, I would like to thank I guess estimated is 117 participants who joined this third one webinar to make it a successful one. We would like to thank the participants coming from private and government sectors who have a vital role in the implementation of occupational safety and health standards in the construction industry. I would like to thank also my colleagues in OSHC and Dolly Caraga, headed by Executive Director Noel C. Binag and Regional Director Magcho